2 weeks ago at Croke Park, a very special occasion, history and heartbreak all in one afternoon. Today, revenge looms because the English are coming.
Absolutely magnificent. It's all so easy.
The England team already lined up, but they're going to have to move to the left because protocol dictates that the home team stands as we look at them on the right. And the president waits. And Martin doesn't want to move.
Well, I would imagine this game, set and slap.
We may not be any good, but at least we turn up.
Not one person not on his feet in this ground.
Well, let's see. There it is on the pin to walk.
Brian O'Driscoll!
And this time, it's England against Ireland in Croke Park. Don't pinch yourself. It's for real. Well, all that was in the past. This is so much different because we are at Croke Park, a sporting event the entire nation, indeed the Irish across the globe, be looking forward to. 84,000 lucky, holding their tickets in their hands. Down there, the Irish team just going through the last warm-ups, just thinking of the task ahead. It was raining earlier, but it has lifted, so we think it'll be showers rather than rain. And Brian O'Driscoll there, welcome back, warming up. Well, I can tell you what an extraordinary afternoon we have ahead of us. Goose Pimple's beginning already. Let's start with Tracy talking with Irish coach Eddie O'Sullivan.
Eddie, after the crushing defeat 2 weeks ago, there's a real sense here that today's going to be very different.
Oh, I certainly hope so. It's a very important game in the context of the championship. You know, the championship's still on if you lose one game and things go your way, like France did last year, won a championship with losing one game. If you lose 2 games, it's not possible, I think, to win a championship. So that's why today is so important. Also keeps the Triple Crown alive for us. And we want to get back in the hunt. We're disappointed after the French match, but you've got to bounce back from these setbacks and learn from them.
A lot has been said about the slow start, but I believe you've addressed that with the team.
Well, we've addressed it, yeah. It's not the first time we've addressed it, so we're hopeful that we've got that sorted out. We won't know until the ball is kicked off again. You never know for sure with these things. Conditions also deteriorated, though, which is not good for either side, I think. It's a very, very heavy shower there now, and I think the surface is going to be very slippery and the ball is going to be hard to handle, which will have an effect on the game, there's no question about that.
But you've got your captain, Brian, back and Peter Stringer.
Yeah, huge boost to the team. You know, they were a big loss against France, we know that. We did very well, though, without them, and it would have been great to win without them, but to have them back now is certainly a boost for everybody, and I know they're dying to get out there. They were very envious last time when the team went out and they weren't with them, so today is a big day for them.
It certainly is. Eddie O'Sullivan there. I think the seriousness of the occasion all over his face, not as relaxed a man as he was. And Brent Pope, you were saying earlier in the programme, for those who are just joining us, if Ireland don't win this game today, it's a very, very, very serious problem.
Well, it's a serious problem because, I mean, they've got all the ingredients to win this game. You know, how many English players would you put on the Irish team? Maybe Johnny Wilkinson, that's it. So for the first time I can remember, Ireland have the better team. They're also at home advantage with 60,000 Irish supporters behind them, the rest being the English. So if they don't win this, when are they going to win? And I mean, you could start calling them chokers because it's a World Cup year. So they set out their stall, Grand Slam, semi-final or final of the World Cup, and if they were to lose this, then a lot of dreams will be shattered.
And it's a performance at Cardiff, a loss to France. If they lose this, no excuses.
No, and I think, you know, it's a World Cup year, a lot being said, but it's about confidence, and Ireland want to win the big games to make a statement going into the World Cup. If they lose this, they go in and they play matches against Scotland and Italy, and we've watched that earlier, and what sort of opposition that can be. That's almost meaningless. This is the big game for both sides to make a statement of where they're going for this year for both sides.
Well, there were 2 games ahead to win, was France and England. To establish themselves as world beaters.
Now, George, to date we've looked at England. I mean, they had a good win over Scotland, and then a poor win over an Italian side who was just amazed us in the last hour. So have they got another gear?
Well, they have a chance of winning, and the reasons they could win is they're not coached by Woodward or Robinson. They're coached by a good selector in Ashton and a pragmatic coach in Ashton. He's picked a kicking game for today, and the weather is in his favour, I would suggest, rather than Ireland's. They have to get some kind of dominance up front. Wilkinson to kick well. This is a hard match.
And he's
for
also
us
picked
to
a
win.
defensively orientated side.
Yes.
If you look at the midfield and Tyndall and Farrell, they're both beasts. They're both defensive orientated players. And I mean, you know, Wilkinson is a great defender, as we know. So Ireland's not going to get a lot of change, even though they're better in midfield.
And uniquely on this occasion, Ireland, the former Irish defence coach, is now England's defence coach. So there's no surprises there.
There's no surprise what everyone analyses, almost paralysis by analysis. I mean, you see the Irish team, but it is at full strength. There's nothing. Eddie has had, as he would say, a full deck of cards to pick from. If he was to pick his team, this is the team he'd put out. And he will be hoping, he'll be praying for a win, because this will be a serious dent to them.
And George, the England team and a new cap coming in for the first time. I mean, what a baptism on the wing, because Robinson was injured.
But like, the difference between the old amateur era, it was a surprise when guys got picked. These guys are professionals. This is their job. Now, this guy Strettle, I think, is a good player. We've seen very little of him, but that doesn't mean he's not a good player. I think the battle is going to be in the back row. And I think David Wallace should have been man the match against France. Huge amount, depending on him now, in this match to carry the ball, because O'Connell hasn't carried the ball.
In a way, though, I disagree, George. You talk about professional amateur. This guy, Strettle, has come from, say, Rotherham. He's going to come into a baptism of fire here. You can rest assured that Rowan O'Gara's slippy ball is going to pump a few on him early on.
Interestingly, like George said, that Brian Ashton is a good selector. Brian Ashton has made a like for like. The easy thing would have been Mark Coetto. Brian Ashton has done like for like, finisher for finisher. Strettle will finish.
Now, a lot of people are saying it, he's even saying it himself, Paul O'Connell is unusually quiet at the moment.
Well, I have a theory on that, and I tell you, and it's the same, and it's the same theory where I think that Ireland aren't starting well, because they're not getting into matches in the first 5 or 10 minutes. They're very structured. I want to see a bit of, I suppose, uncontrolled madness for 10 minutes. Hit an English shirt, do anything you have to get in the ball. O'Connell is a big ball carrier. He needs to get his hands, his mitts on the ball to get over the game line. What's been happening is 10 minutes have drifted. He hasn't got into the game. It's hard to pick
and
it up.
There's been an endless amount of balderdash this week about national anthems and all of the rest. I mean, this occasion, it seemed to get to them against France. Is it going to be in their heads today? It better not be.
I discount totally the Croke Park factor, I must say. Ireland were beaten by France because France were the better team. And because France came out, and we knew it. We said it in this studio before the match. We said what was going to happen, and that's what happened. What's going to happen here is Wilkinson's going to kick the leather off the ball. Of course, O'Gara has a kicking game, but the plan for today wasn't a kicking game. Have they plan B? Well, Eddie isn't a plan B kind of coach.
All right, well, about 40 minutes before kickoff, and we have much more analysis coming up for you. Everybody this week has had to say about national anthems, even one Richard Cooper.
Well, of course, the real drama of this occasion is the fact that there are 6 Ulstermen in the Irish squad. The best boys, Andrew Trimble, Paddy Wallace, and Isaac Boss, who's of course from New Zealand, but we'll keep that quiet. And I do not understand what the big fuss about playing the national anthems is all about, because with that amount of Ulstermen on the Irish team, I think both sides should sing God Save the Queen. You understand?
Have you got a good sense of atmosphere around Dublin this weekend?
It's been brilliant. The crowds have been exceptional. Everybody's been so friendly. It's been really very, very good.
Super duper. Absolutely wonderful. We're all together. We're all enjoying it. We're all behind Ireland.
Where are you from?
England. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think Ireland are going to win.
I think it's going to be very, very close. I think it's going to be probably round about something like, say, 26, 15, 16 to us. I mean to you.
We come from Holland.
From Holland. And are you supporting Ireland today?
Yes, of course.
Okay. You wouldn't be allowed in otherwise. You do realise that?
Yes.
You've been to Croke Park before?
No, only for the U2 concert, so this is a big thing.
So you haven't seen a game in Croke Park?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat, girl.
I'm very much so. I cannot wait.
All they need is their maypole. Now, special occasion today for 2 men, Hugo McNeil and Trevor Ringland, who 10 years ago, after a distinguished rugby career with Ireland, organised a peace international in 1998. They're talking now with Marty Morrison.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Yes, indeed, it's a bit of a damp evening here in Croke Park. but I'm sure it's not going to dilute the spirits of the 80,000 people that's going to watch this historic match. Well, joining me now here on pitch side are two former internationals that have won 37 and 34 international caps respectively. That's Hugo McNeil and Trevor Ringland. Hugo, a very significant day in Irish history. I know a lot has been said and written about it, but from your perspective, what's your thoughts?
I think it's fantastic. This stadium is absolutely unbelievable. We'd love to have played here, and I think it's wonderful. And I think the historic significance of having England here, I mean, there's not been read about the history, but in a sense, in the rugby sense, England have been our closest friends. 1973, they came here when nobody else did. From 1996, when Trevor and I organised a peace international after the IRA ceasefires brought down, and players came from all around the world to fill Lansdowne Road to support those working for peace in Ireland. More came from England than any other country, and even when we had last-minute injuries, other English guys came to step up. So I think it's a fantastic day, and to have them here is fantastic.
I know you were teammates from the last championship winning side, Trevor, but and I also know you're a member of the Ulster Unionist Party. Give me your perspective on today.
I think today's a significant step forward in the relationships in this island. You know, we have the GAA opening up their ground to other games, and in doing that, we have a fantastic occasion when the people of England and the people of Ireland come together to do battle, but also to make friendships, because rugby's the most physical of games on the pitch, but off the pitch it's all about making friendships. And if we're going to do anything in this century compared to the last century, it is that we start building friendships.
What do you think of Croke Park? Would you two guys like to be playing there today?
Amazing stadium, amazing stadium. And the people of Ulster are going to be down here today, and they're going to have a fantastic day and really enjoy the experience and make friends and meet people, and that is surely what it's all about.
Yeah, Ireland to win?
Ireland to win, I think, yeah. With O'Driscoll and Stringer back, Ireland to win today, yeah.
Well, Hugo McNeil, Trevor Ringland, thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to a great international, Ireland and England, but for the meantime, it's back to you, Tom.
Thank you indeed, Marty. Now, we've heard much about anthems this past week, but where stands the hardcore rugby supporter? Our North reporter Brendan Wright has found some out-and-out rugby people, and he joined them on their journey to GAA headquarters.
Move! It's a kickback!
Portadown RFC is a team at the very heart of rugby in the north, a club with a proud history of achievement stretching back almost 150 years. Given the fact that a majority, but by no means all the players and members, come from the Protestant Unionist tradition, you could be forgiven for thinking they'd be fearful of going to Croke Park and to the home of the GAA. But in what's another sign of how things are changing, the Portadown members couldn't wait to get to Croker.
Croke Park is one of those places that you've heard a lot about, and I've personally never been there, and I'm looking forward to going to Croke Park. I've heard a lot of very good things about it, so I would say it's going to be quite some occasion.
Been very gracious of the GAA people to do it, because there's been a lot of history behind it as well, and it's nice to see that we're getting together and everybody can move forward.
And so 2 weeks ago, this group of members and supporters of Portadown Rugby Club travelled across the border to Croke Park, clearly conscious they were about to witness Irish sporting history and, in a way, be part of it.
It's great that the Rule 42 has been abolished and that we are allowed to come here today, and it can only augur well for the future of sport in Ireland.
Coming into a GAA club 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you wouldn't have actually thought of this. So yes, it is historical to come down here.
Shoulder to shoulder, we'll enter Ireland's call.
And despite all the advanced media hype, it was clear this group of Portadown fans had no issues with anthems.
Forget politics, we're all together, we're into sport, and that's number one.
To be quite honest with you, it doesn't cost me a thought. I think it's a great stadium and the pitch looks super.
Despite Ronan O'Gara's heroics, Ireland lost to France, but then it was a case of bring on the English.
All the best. Cheers. Good day and a good win.
Good match.
This morning the Portadown people met to toast what they hope will be a rousing Irish victory over the oldest of old enemies, the English. But hold on a second, can these be the same people who are from the Protestant Unionist tradition and whose allegiance lies with Britain?
It doesn't cost me a thought. The only thing I'm going down for is to see the match, to enjoy myself and hope for a good Irish win.
Yes, I'm born and raised in a British part of Ireland. However, I'm going down to support Ireland today, and I respect both nationalities and I respect both national anthems.
And just a very short time ago, the Portadown Rugby Club supporters arrived at Croke Park, ready to stand and respect both the national anthems, but hoping, of course, for only one outcome in the match, an Irish victory.
Brendan Wright reporting there. There we are. That's the reaction reported out from the horse's mouth. Now, Tracy Pickett has been talking to the Irish players.
You just treat it what it is. It's just another game, and you have to, if you get things right, if you use your experience, if you play smart and get all your basics right and get a slice of luck, you win it. If you don't, you're struggling, and that's the way you do it. I mean, sure, there's a lot running it. There's a Six Nations Championship running on it. It's Croke Park, and we're playing England. There's a lot of history there, but we just want to concentrate on our game and get it right. Make sure we're at the level we need to be at.
In some ways, it's good that this game comes up, and the importance of this game and the magnitude of this game against England is thrust upon us straight away, because you have to put the French result behind us. We just don't have an issue. It'll linger there in our minds. It might be there for, it could be there for any number of years, but presently we just have to look forward to England, and there's no bigger occasion to help you get over the French defeat.
Well, I really enjoyed actually playing under him, even for the brief time he was in charge, because he had a completely different approach to the game that had been coached up to that point, and his philosophy on the match was completely different, and I really enjoyed that whole, he'd like to play with a lot of width, he'd like to move the ball. You can certainly see the way he's relaxed the team, and he's very passionate about, England and English rugby, and he does want the best of the team, and he wants them to play the best rugby they can. And I think you can see them, they've all relaxed a bit more, and the pressure's off them since their tough November series and last year's Six Nations, and he has to be credited with that.
It's always a very tight game, very competitive game. So that's the way. I mean, we've used our experience well over the last few years to eke out a victory, and hopefully we can do that again this weekend.
Now, there are some key confrontations today. The panel have been burning the midnight oil and pouring over them. Off you go, George Hook. Where do you see the first one?
It's the one that will decide the match, because it's not 10 against 10. In the defensive system, so often it'll be 10 against 12. And Darcy makes more yards than anybody else in world midfield rugby. But he's now coming up against a JCB of a tackler. And I think there's a real chance he's going to get put on his backside by Wilkinson. If that happens, that will be the beginning of a defensive system for England that could win the match. And
do you think Ashton targeted this match by starting with those JCBs at 12 and 13?
Yeah,
from the beginning of the
He didn't have any alternative. The only alternatives they have in the English game are guys like Matthew Tate, who he hasn't given his head to. The way that the English club game is structured is that's the way they're playing the game, with these types of power play. It's the way they played the last World Cup.
Give us your confrontations.
Well, the confrontation, even though they don't match each other, and one's a blind side flanker and one's an open side flanker, Joe Worsley and David Wallace are probably the best two ball carriers. The best ball carrier in Ireland is David Wallace, and Joe Worsley's been brought in to carry ball. Now, say they won't oppose each other, but David Wallace is probably a better flanker, open side flanker than Lund, because I don't think England have had an out-and-out open side player since Neil Back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we've talked a little bit. You talk about the matchups. For me, you get conditions like this. It's a bit drier now, but it's going to be slippy. It's about how you defend at the back, and you've got the vast experience of Gervin Dempsey, the perfect safe hands against the new kid on the block, Ollie Morgan, second cap, coming into this cold, and Ronan O'Gara kicking the corners. It is going to be, in days like this, how solid you are at the back and how they cope with these conditions.
And you know a bit about Morgan. I mean, is he good under the high ball? I know he's a good attacking player.
He is brave beyond fault. He's good under a high ball and hits very good lines, but this is a new level.
Now, when we watched the Italy match, the terrible match, but England won, and we were all complaining, but you said that was a simple game plan. Is the game plan as simple today for Brian Ashton, or might he try and give the ball out?
No, it will be absolutely
10-man simple rugby.
Yeah, and the weather is in his favour. I mean, I think they're going to try and dominate us up front. It's going to be old-fashioned. But remember, look, he's playing he's giving England rugby what Jack Charlton gave Ireland soccer. He's giving them a simple system that everybody believes in and commits to. They go on the pitch and they know what they're doing.
And I keep going back, I don't want to stress this, but where is the creativity on the outside for England anyway. I mean, Josh Lucy isn't really an attacking
I think
winger anymore.
when you start going, you have to go back. When your confidence is low, you go back to basics, and that's what he's done.
All right.
I
I got to have your final predictions, George. Who's going to win?
I just don't think it's going to work. I think we're going to get the worst of all results. I think it's going to be a draw.
One word.
Ireland.
Ireland.
I think it's just an incredibly difficult one to call. I think Ireland definitely go into this as favourites.
What are you saying now?
10 minutes to kick off. We're taking a very quick break. There we are, 84,000. Huge television audience. Last time we'd almost 1 million. I think perhaps we'll pass it today. A moment to send greetings to all those Irish across the world watching this on satellite and internet. It's a huge occasion. Your commentators, Ryan Nugent and Ralph Keyes. You know, Ralph, some people think a ticket to the Oscars is the big one this weekend. You've got the best seat in the world.
Absolutely. This is sporting utopia for all here, Tom. It is the best ticket you could possibly want, and it's an absolute privilege. And the day is just special. It has everything. And let's hope it lives up to the billing. Two sides with so much at stake. England looking to continue their rehabilitation. Ireland looking to bounce back and regain their momentum. And there's a plot and there's a storyline to keep the most ardent of surprise suspense lovers happy. And this one, well, it really has it all. Ralph Keyes alongside me. Ralph, you've been involved in some wonderful occasions. You think back to the Munster final recently and games you played in yourself. Where does this one rank?
Well, what a stadium, and the atmosphere is absolutely electric, and of course everyone waiting in eager anticipation of the clash with England visiting Croke Park, and what a fantastic occasion for everyone involved. And England, of course, coming with very much a strong pack and so on, but they'll be looking to play the basics, a very simple game. And Johnny Wilkinson, of course, at outside half, well, he's been himself and Jason Robinson responsible for all, but I think 10 of England's points so far in the championship. So how important is Johnny Wilkinson? And if the pre-match warm-up is anything to go by, his preparation was an hour-long fantastic preparation for him, place kicking and so on.
Well, no matter your thoughts or opinions on this day, no matter your colour or your creed, this is a moment that will live in the memory for many, many years to come as England make their way to Croke Park. Well received. The stadium looks spectacular. And the wind gets up just a little bit. The conditions, as you've heard, are going to play their part. The English team continues to be applauded. But wait for the roar. Wait for the moment that Ireland make their way. Johnny Wilkinson followed by the camera. The sense of anticipation is almost unbearable. Crowd settle again. The big screens here, the crowd can see just what you're seeing at home. As soon as the shot of O'Driscoll is seen in the tunnel, the place will erupt. It's a moment to savor. Let the pictures and the sounds tell the story. Ireland, of course, 3 times on the bounce winners in 2004, 1913 in Twickenham, 2005, again 1913, this time at Lansdowne Road, 2006, 28-24 in Twickenham with that last gasp try to seal victory and to seal the Triple Crown. They've beaten Wales, they've lost to France, the Triple Crown is on once more, but in order to go to Edinburgh and to try and win it, they first have to deal with the challenge of England. And now the noise, and now the team make their way from the dressing room. Substitutes line up. Management team there as well. O'Driscoll continues to hold his men back, to raise the temperature, to raise the noise level even further. can say with certainty that there's never been anything like this. Raw emotion, raw passion.
What a fantastic reception. Well, of course, for Brian O'Driscoll's men, and Brian O'Driscoll, what a moment for him, missing out on the French opportunity against France a couple of weeks ago to lead the team out. He does it in the bigger game, you'd have to say. And to be fair, a fantastic reception also for England when they took the field.
So now we'll settle down again for just a moment as the sides gather in front of us here along the red carpet. Two mascots alongside Brian O'Driscoll, Daniel Maloney from Youghal in County Cork, just 7 years of age, on the right hand side there, and Johnny McGuigan, Buccaneers player, that's him holding the mascot, 11 years old. What a terrific day. That's one they will tell for the rest of their lives, the day they were there holding the hand of the Irish captain, Brian O'Driscoll, winning his 72nd cap this afternoon. John Hayes alongside him, Marcus Horan, the intensity on those faces, they know what this means. Donegal O'Callaghan alongside him. And the President, Mary McAleese, makes her way. And we will have the presidential salute. President of the IRFU, Peter Boyle, alongside the President of Ireland, who players first. So much, Ralph, on particularly that English back line. We know that the front eight have got the ability to front up and provide possession, but you look at the names of Ollie Morgan and David Strettle in particular, and you wonder how they're going to deal with the pressures of a day like this.
Absolutely. I mean, they come into Croke Park, Morgan on his second cap, Strettle coming in at the last moment for his debut, and what an occasion to have to deliver for two of the back three. And there's no doubt Ron O'Gara will certainly test those players, and I would have thought maybe perhaps that England might have been tempted to put Josh Lucy back in the 15th position just for a bit of added security, but no, he's going with the young talent.
Rain starts to fall once more. We've had some heavy showers throughout the afternoon in Dublin, and it's going to have an effect on the game. The wind up a little bit as well, but that's blowing around the stadium. Always hard to get a feel for exactly what way it is swirling. And coming in over the Hill 16 end into the cauldron of the cathedral of sport that is Croke Park, as the President meets the Irish captain Brian O'Driscoll. And again, the crowd lift their voice. John Hayes and Marcus Horan, Donegal O'Callaghan and Peter Stringer back after that injury to his hand. Paul O'Connell, the captain last week. O'Gara and Stringer, by the way, starting for the 47th time as the Irish halfback. So much experience, and Ronan O'Gara looking quite relaxed. Along the line we go from Wallace to Darcy, and Gervin Dempsey also winning his 72nd cap today. Dennis Hickey and Shane Horgan. And then some of the substitutes, including Mick O'Driscoll, who's never started a game for Ireland, but should he come on today would win his 8th cap. Isaac Boss, the scrum half from Ulster, who started a fortnight ago. Paddy Wallace alongside him, and the impact of Neil Best should we require a ferocious tackler. And a moment with the President. Nervous times these for the players. Formalities almost out of the way. The final man on the line, Andrew Trimble. Slightly surprising maybe that he's in instead of Jordan Murphy, who's left out of the 22 completely. There's Trimble. He'll win his 13th cap should he come on today, just 22 years of age. And doesn't he look composed and relaxed out there? Some of the faces so intense, others dealing with the pressure with a smile. And the president heads back to her seat, and we will hold the anthems until she makes her way there. A respectful silence almost around Croke Park in anticipation. Ollie Morgan, Johnny Wilkinson, 55th cap this afternoon, 859 points, one of the great players of the modern game. Some might say the greatest. And the crowd just saw that and have reacted accordingly. Only in Ireland.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthems will now be played by the combined Army number 1 and Guard bands.
No words needed. Nicky Brennan, president of the GAA, looks on. How much does it mean to play for your country on a day like this? Those faces told the story. They deserve credit for being even able to take their tracksuits off after that. The formality's over. It's only a matter of time before a rugby match breaks out. Wonderful, Ralph.
Absolutely, and at last down to the real business of the match itself, and what an occasion it promises to be. Of course, Ireland will be looking to try and play at a high-tempo game, which they're so good at, in an effort to try and free up space in the midfield, particularly for Brian O'Driscoll and Gordon Darcy, probably one of the best centre partnerships in the world, and again should have to say a more plodding centre partnership in Tyndall and Farrell for England.
Here's a look at the teams. Horan, Best and Hayes in the front row for Ireland. O'Callaghan and O'Connell in the second row. Easterby, Leamy and Wallace. Well-established front eight for Ireland. Here's the backs. Stringer and O'Gara together once more. Darcy and O'Driscoll, the partnership restored. Hickey, Dempsey and Horgan back in the positions that we know that they're tried and trusted in. England, Freshwater, Shooter and Vickery in the front row. Deacon and Grucock, a good second row pairing. Worsley, Corrie and Lund offer balance and pace in that back row. Ellis and Wilkinson, superb half-back partnership. Farrell and Tyndall, there's where the question marks are. Strettle, Morgan and Lucy. There is some unexperienced names in that back three. And there are the substitutes. Ireland, you would think, with the exception of Julian White on the English side, have more in the way of experience to call on should they require them. And there's the referee, the man who has to handle the occasion, Joël Jude, the Frenchman, just checking in with his television match official, Romain Pouat, who's also a Frenchman. Nigel Whitehouse and Christophe Verdos are the touch judges should we require them. A little bit of a problem with the referee's communication system, which is being attended to, so we'll just have to hold on for a second.
On the right.
Just a quick note on that man, Johnny Wilkinson. Right shoulder, right arm, left knee again, neck, appendicitis, a hernia, groin injury, right knee again, and a lacerated kidney. All from the World Cup final in 2003 to stopping him playing again until the first game of the Six Nations this year. He's done remarkably well to keep his appetite and believe in himself to get back.
And Royal, since '98, England have played 46 tests without Johnny Wilkinson. They've only won 23 of them. That's 50%. Not a very good hit ratio, so they were delighted to see him back off the injury table and fit again to play for England.
Referee looks to be happy enough, and the touch judges are heading for their respective touch lines. There's Shane Horgan, 53rd cap this afternoon for the 28-year-old. All the time, the sense of anticipation continues to build, and the fields of Athenry rings out around Croke Park. It's Johnny Wilkinson who will get us underway. 80 minutes, edge of the seat stuff. O'Driscoll waits. No matter how many games he's played in, this one must be registering as something a little bit special. Croke Park is ready. England kick off. It's the third round of the RBS Six Nations, and we're underway at Croke Park. Dennis Leamy, the first to get his hands on the ball, and he runs into a tough tackle from Lewis Deacon. Ireland hold on. O'Gara with Darcy, and Ireland are going to go wide early. O'Driscoll held onto the ball, and that's a kick for Ollie Morgan to take, which he does well and returns high into the darkening sky. Ireland don't claim. Donegal O'Callaghan and Paul O'Connell sort of looked at each other, neither took it. The knock on there, and it's, well, Ireland were offside. It would have been a knock on and a scrum, but the referee says offside and an early opportunity, and this is only going to be one thing, a kick and goal for Wilkinson.
Absolutely, the visiting side, and Wilkinson immediately pointing to the post, and you'd have to say give 3 points perhaps, even though it's outside the 10-metre line. But Ireland really not dealing with the high ball at all. Nobody calling for and allowing England to secure possession, and from the ruck, Ireland coming in the wrong side. Showed a bit of adventure perhaps inside their 22. The space was there, and that's the time to spread it. poor kick to Ollie Morgan, which led to the Gary Owen back to Ireland. And Ireland then conceding the penalty, and Johnny Wilkinson, well, is there a better kicker in world rugby?
Well, 859 points beside his name. He's playing his 7th test against Ireland today. He scored 78 points in those 7 tests. And here's his first opportunity. He's got it. And England make the perfect start, thanks in no small part to an Irish error. And we talked about Ireland not wanting to make a slow start. We talked about Ireland wanting to get into this game and establish a pattern early, and that is not what they needed.
Well, exactly, you know, all the build-up to the match. Ireland needed to secure possession, start well, and they haven't done that, but an opportunity now to put some pressure on England.
O'Gara's restart, this is something that Ireland have needed to work on, and Grucock is the one who rises into the air as the Irish numbers arrive. Grucock got his hands to it and he sets it up for his scrum half, Harry Ellis. Ellis winning his 16th cap this afternoon. Back to Wilkinson inside the 22 under a little bit of pressure from David Wallace. Wilkinson chooses to go infield and Dennis Hickey has come to claim. Has to look outside him. There's O'Gara. Ronan O'Gara floats the ball out to Gervin Dempsey. Horgan offers himself. England shuffle across. The tackle comes in from Josh Lucy. Stringer arrives a little later than he would have wanted. Secure possession for Ireland. O'Gara. O'Driscoll. Crossfield kick. Wallace is up there. It's in behind the head of Strettle, who had the bounce go his way. And England will get the 22 dropout, but better in terms of pattern from Ireland there.
Well, much better, and spreading the ball wide well, and there was plenty of space there. Perhaps Brian O'Driscoll would have been better keeping it in hand on that occasion. He was a bit unlucky with the bounce, of course, and Strettle was able to touch down.
Strettle making his debut today, just 23 years of age, was playing in the 2nd tier of English rugby up until his move to Harlequins. And now in the big time, O'Connell watches, waits and claims, but is hit by a wave of white shirts. Stringer finds Ronan O'Gara, who again goes in behind the new boy, and that is a typical O'Gara kick and gets Ireland to where they want to be.
Well, absolutely, Royal, and it's also putting a few doubts into Strettle's mind, making his debut. He'll be nervous, and I'd certainly be looking for him early in the match, as well as Ollie Morgan, to put the pressure on.
First line out of the day. George Tudor, the English hooker, the man who will throw to this shortened line out. Ireland get up to compete, but England hold on to possession. Try to go to their maul to work out better angle for Wilkinson's clearing kick. That's what we'd expect. Ireland will want to stand up to this early challenge of the English maul and not let them get the upper hand, which will be psychological as much as anything else. Good work from England. They peel off the side. Easterby in to make the tackle, and the ball goes to ground legally. Shane Horgan is under this, watches it all the way, sends the pass out to Dempsey, has a little look to see what's on, cuts back inside and makes the line break. Ireland need to get to him and support the fullback. Worsley in to try and stop it, does so illegally, hands on the deck. Penalty Ireland. Good work from the Irish fullback.
Very good, and he had no option outside. He cut back inside. The defensive tackling was a bit poor, you'd have to say. Good pass from Horgan, but you can see here Dempsey nothing on outside really, and he just straightened and went through. Should have been stopped, and immediately Worsley came in and killing the ball. Joel Juch, good decision.
I think that was a rare defensive error from one Johnny Wilkinson, who is one of the great tackling out halves. Just slipped off Gervin Dempsey, which allowed him to get the forward momentum. And the resulting penalty is to Ronan O'Gara. 686 points. This is his 7th test against England. He scored 52 points in that time, and that is what is ahead of him. Slightly closer in than Wilkinson's effort for England, but around about the same sort of position. Ireland will want this. Ireland need this. Ireland have this. It's 3 points apiece at Croke Park.
Well, Ronan, he squares it up on the scoreboard. But when you have 2 players of Wilkinson and O'Gara's kicking standard on the field, the game could well come down to 1 or 2 missed kicks, and you know, you might prefer to see tries to score, you know, deciding matches. but it will be tight in the end, and it could be place kicking, could be the difference.
I think most people would be happy for Ireland not to score a try and win this one through the boot of O'Gara. O'Connell, that's much better from Ireland in terms of a restart. Solid in collecting possession, and now they go to the maul. Crabbing slightly cross-field, Stringer chooses to go to O'Gara and Darcy, and they're going to try and pop it around, and that was dangerous in their possibility of an intercept, but secured for Ireland. And Ronan O'Gara again goes down the line. The decision to kick and chase, and Peter Stringer was alive to it and danced away from the first tackler. Shane Horgan gets the kick away, but England were offside, and Ireland gets the penalty.
Offside position. 10. Yes, more.
Peter Stringer popped the pass away, but advantage already there for Ireland. Referee decided penalty was what he wanted to give. Ireland will get the put into this line out, presuming that Ronan O'Gara finds his touch. Everybody just settling down a little.
Open right.
Rory Best with the responsibility for this Irish line-out. He's the hooker, winning his 10th cap. The Ulsterman scored a try against Wales in the opening game when the ball was blocked down. He was the first to react. Got the 5-pointer. This is the bread and butter of what he has to do, though. Ireland's line-out must function. Best goes for and finds O'Connell. Referee happy that it was straight, and Ireland go to the maul. England bring it down, but legally, according to the referee, as Easterby and Leamy together run into a wall of English defenders, but do get the forward momentum at the last effort. And the ball presented by Wallace, a little scrappily for Peter Stringer, but it's there, and O'Gara is going to go cross-field in behind Strettle again, but it came off the side of the boot, not what the out-half intended, but it might still work to his advantage. Shane Horgan has a little look as Strettle decides he's going to test the pace of the Irish winger. The kick infield, watched by Dempsey, and now Ronan O'Gara. This time he comes crossfield again. Pinpoint accuracy from O'Gara. That is a terrific kick on the run. There's the experience of the man. We've seen him do it in the red of Munster and the green of Ireland, and opening signs are he's on top of his game.
Absolutely smashing kick there, putting it into the corner when there was nothing on, and Ronan O'Gara settling into the game well now, starting to control it off the back of some good possession in the last 3 or 4 minutes from the Irish pack, and they'll be looking to get a bit more momentum up front to try and give Ronan and the 2 midfield partners as well some space early on.
There's George Shooter. Before him we saw the English captain Phil Vickery.
Receiver, please. Please, no, fine.
The referee trying to get the gaps in the line, and Shooter throws again. Ireland challenged, but again England claimed, this time through Martin Curry, the 14 times captain of England. Ireland, though, are competing. They think they might see it. Worsley believes England have it, and there it is for Harry Ellis, who clips one over the top of the Irish defenders. This could go anywhere. Down on it goes Krukop to secure possession for England. Ellis digs it out for Wilkinson. Easterby a little bit late on Wilkinson. The referee happy to let it go. Dempsey for Dennis Hickey again. He has a little look up to see what's on. Kicks it straight down the throat, though, of Martin Curry, who will throw the pass out to Johnny Wilkinson, trying to get every inch out of it. Doesn't find touch, and Ronan O'Gara has a moment to think of what to do. A little bit of tennis going on as neither side wants to hold on to possession. O'Gara for Curry, who took 2 bites of the cherry, but eventually swallowed it whole. It's there for England.
Stay back.
Not controlled. Ireland come pouring through. Still, though, English possession as Josh Lucy makes his way from the wing to play scrum half. Tyndall puts boot to ball, and this time it finds the safety of touch. The referee having a little word with Donegal Callaghan, telling him to calm down. This was Curry. Didn't get it the first time, but did the second.
Well, good play from Martin Curry. He did recover and importantly kept the possession. until his support arrived, and it gave Wilkinson the opportunity to clear his lines.
Rory Best once more. Ireland's line out. It's scrappy and it's taken by England. Curry the one to take it. It's there for Grewcock, who's tackled by John Hayes. Ellis, Wilkinson, they go to their back line. Here is, well, Tyndall and Farrell made a mess of it, and it's kicked through, hacked through by an Irish boot, and Horgan is up, but Strettle gets away from him. The new cap doing well. The kick, though, is fielded by Gervin Dempsey, who is so solid under the high ball. Mistakes from both sides. Gaps opening up, and Ireland look to probe down that narrow side, but the ball doesn't go to hand. There's a knock-on from an Irish player. Horan was one that put the pass away.
Well, the ball going to ground eventually there, but what a chance for England. And I'm not sure whether it was Tyndall or Farrell, but they had a 4-2 outside in numbers, and they went up the middle, didn't see the numbers outside, and poor lack of vision really from the English midfield. Not just with a guy with Strettle's pace on the wing, you'd have thought that they'd have been trying to get wide quickly, but they just didn't see it.
It was Farrell who didn't see it, and the Packs go to this scrum, England with the weight advantage.
And closer, okay? Crunch, touch, pause, engage.
Referee said engage. Vickery on this side didn't seem to want to know. Troughing against Marcus Horan.
When I say the crutch, it's crutch. After, it's touch. After, pause, okay?
Quick refresher of the rules for the front rows.
Crutch, touch, pause, engage.
Ellis with the feed to the English scrum. Ireland go down.
Again.
And the referee says we'll have it again.
Come on here. The bonding here. And you immediately. Closer, closer, closer. Crutch, crutch, touch, pause, engage.
Better contact on that occasion from Horan, but again the front rows go down. And the referee says it's Marcus Horan who didn't go down or pack down straight, and he's responsible for bringing that scrum down, and England get the penalty.
Well, scrum time, it's very difficult to call that. A bit harsh, I would have thought, on Marcus Horan, but maybe a management penalty from Joel Juch to sort out the scrummaging problem.
Johnny Wilkinson's penalty as ball play up between the Irish 10-metre line and their 22. England with the put in to the line out. They take it quickly, and it's with Johnny Wilkinson now. Farrell in midfield. Wilkinson on the loop. Here's Strettle, the new man who's seen a good bit of action, but runs into Brian O'Driscoll, who puts him on the ground before he breaks the gain line. And it's now there for Harry Ellis. Farrell and Shooter in midfield. Horan, O'Callaghan and Best combine to make the tackles. Down the short side, not many options out there for England. Wilkinson tries to fend off Easterby and does well, but Easterby into contest for the ball. Harry Ellis has. Pass is to no one in particular, and Farrell is wrapped up in midfield. Could be Irish ball, but the English troops arrive just in time to clear out and hold on to possession. Shooter, the hooker, standing as first receiver, runs into Wallace and Easterby. Good tackling from the back row, great tackling from the back row, turns the ball over. Stringer's attempted kick is blocked down, but it'll be an Irish put into the line out, and credit to the Irish back row.
Absolutely, and the defence magnificent there as a unit. Wallace wrapping up Shooter, but England, you know, they're taking the ball into contact at every opportunity, and they're just not releasing the ball into space, and lack of vision really from it. But that's an indication of how England want to play the game. Bash it up front and hope that Johnny kicks the points.
Ireland scrum under a bit of pressure, but Leamy comes away with it, as he does so often, and makes ground. Stringer's pass finds Darcy, but not by the route they would have wanted. The Irish centre wrapped up in midfield. It's presented for Stringer and O'Gara, and now Brian O'Driscoll has a look up, and Gervin Dempsey couldn't just get the ball away, but Hickey has, and now Stringer and Leamy coming at an angle and at pace again is put to ground by Deacon. Darcy's pass to Shane Horgan, maybe something on out wide for Ireland. Easterby couldn't get the pass away in time, and again it was Strettle who made that tackle, and he did well, because had that pass got away, there was a free run to the line for the Irishman out wide.
Absolutely, and he was aware that there was space and numbers, and he came in quickly, knocked it on in the process, and Ireland get the scrum, but good defensive play from Strettle there.
Easterby just couldn't get it away quickly enough as the defence arrived. It was Wallace who was standing out on the wing. Ireland scrum again, a little bit messy, but England infringed ball not out, boot to ball, penalty Ireland. Ball has to come out the back before an Englishman can touch it, and Harry Ellis put his boot in before Leamy got his hands to it. O'Gara down the line from a tight enough angle, brings play just short of the English 22. It's like a game of chess this at the moment.
Absolutely, and a big line out now from Rory Best needed here. England have not failed to find their jumpers at any stage so far in the match. Ireland have 50% hit ratio on the line out so far, and just needs to settle down, get to the jumper, and give Ireland an opportunity to launch their own platform off the maul.
Ireland being hurried up, Rory Best told to get the ball in, find Paul O'Connell towards the tail of that line out, and Ireland go to their maul. So many Munster men in there, with the exception of Best and Easterby. They've seen this so often. Almost up to the English 22. Leamy in the clear out. Ireland will get the put into the scrum. Referee says no. He first indicated that it was to Ireland, then decided it was a maul that hadn't gone to ground and was held up by England, and now he's giving the put into the English.
Well, if he decides it's a maul, the decision is correct. You can't see the turnover if you don't use the possession. And Ireland, line-out possession is far better for Ireland than having to contest at scrum time, because England are powerful in that department.
Stringer on to Ellis very quickly, but the English scrum half did well to get the ball away to Johnny Wilkinson, holding on the ground. No doubt about that, right in front of the referee. I think it might have been Farrell, the centre, playing just his third cap for England, Andy Farrell. Was it him? No, yes, it is Andy Farrell, former Rugby League player, 2004 World Rugby League Player of the Year, and he's still in some ways learning the rules at this level in Union, and you might get away with that in League, taking the time to put the ball, the squeeze back between the legs, but look, that's a long time, and the referee was never going to allow it.
Absolutely, and I think some of his colleagues are also guilty of playing the Rugby League style, taking into contact all the time, not offloading in the tackle, and looking very predictable really in midfield. England are so far.
O'Gara with the opportunity to give Ireland the lead. The Hill like it, the touch judges like it. Ireland lead at Croke Park. It's Ireland 6, England 3.
Well, they've settled very well, Royal, since Johnny Wilkinson's opening penalty for England. Ireland have settled well into the game. A few mistakes perhaps, but you could excuse that with the greasy surface with the rain pre-match. And they'll be just looking to settle a bit more. They need a bit more possession off the lineup, because you feel that there's a lot of space in the English midfield if Ireland can play that high-tempo game and release Brian O'Driscoll and Gordon Darcy.
Wilkinson with the restart, called by Leamy, protected by those in front of them. Barely legal, but legal nonetheless. Stringer delivers that super quick pass to Ronan O'Gara, who goes right down the line. He's got every inch out of that. The crowd love it. Lucy's going to take it quickly, which he's allowed to do. Ireland not able to get there quickly enough to stop it from happening, and Ollie Morgan, the English fullback, just bangs it downfield. Ireland will have time to deal with this through the boots of Gervin Dempsey, who again has got huge distance out of that, and that's two good clearing kicks from O'Gara and Dempsey in turn. Paul O'Connell, 42nd cap today. Magnus Lund, just got a brief look at him. And that's back on the Irish side from an English put in, and it's secured by Easterby. Good turnover in the line out from Ireland. And the ball presented for Peter Stringer. Now Ronan O'Gara again chooses to kick. It's high and it's hanging, and there's English defenders all over it, and Darcy just lines up Morgan for an absolute thumper. The referee says the fullback called the mark, and it may well have been the right call, but we'll look back at that in a moment, because England have taken it quickly through the hands of Farrell and Wilkinson. And they're up to the halfway line, and now they get the penalty, and there's an Irishman injured inside the English 22.
Well, I think it's Brian O'Driscoll or Gordon Darcy, one of them.
Captain? Referee's going to have a word. He's looking for the captain, who's the man injured inside the English 22.
Captain Gwyn, please. Okay.
Well, it's Brian O'Driscoll, yeah.
Captain, please, captain. A tackle.
But I think it was his tackle on Ollie Morgan, Royal. And what a tackle it was, but Morgan did very well to hold on to possession.
Yes, you. Will be a penalty kick against you.
Penalty kick for a high tackle. And
what?
There's a knee gone in there. Johnny Wilkinson. Hard to see the number on the Irish back. Recognise their faces but not their knees. Rain falls once more, and Wilkinson will probe that touchline and bring England up towards the Irish 22. And they've done well to get out of that particular spot they were in. They've gone from a high-hanging kick that landed just inside their own 22 down into Irish territory, and they've got a foothold here. Here was the tackle. It was indeed O'Driscoll rather than Darcy, and it was a terrific take from the line out. The crowd can sense that Ireland have a chance at winning this ball, and now they've got it. Again, terrific intensity from the pack to turn the ball over. Marcus Horan gets a tap on the head from Donegal O'Callaghan. There's a huge focus about this Irish 8 and a huge intensity as well.
Well, you'd expect that, Royal, because, you know, they've come in for a lot of criticism, particularly in the English press over the last few weeks, and the press, you know, harping on the fact that Leicester beat Munster in the Heineken Cup and kind of did a demolition job perhaps on the pack that day, but the Irish pack and the Munster contingent are really up for it today to make and set the record straight as the rain teams down here in Croke Park.
Stringer has, here's Darcy in midfield, put to ground. Options left and right for Ireland. O'Gara chooses to go right. He's got Shane Horgan, who's got no one outside him, so Horgan puts boot to ball. Was he obstructed as he went through? The referee keeps his arms by his side, but England through Ollie Morgan make a little bit of a mess of it, and Ireland will get the put into the line out. Morgan did so well under the high ball on that occasion, the slippery surface working against him.
Well, Strettle just stood his ground, to be fair, and there was no blocking there. But Morgan, well, as you say, the ball greasy from the rain now and difficult to handle, particularly trying to pick it up on the run.
Shane Horgan not long in getting through Strettle, who took a bang to the shoulder and the head for his trouble of standing his ground. Ireland with a real opportunity. There's how Horgan dealt with the Englishman standing in front of him.
Six players. Okay.
Maybe a suggestion he led with the forearm. Set piece ball inside the English 22, rain teeming down, penalty Ireland. Jumper held before his feet hit the ground, which is illegal. O'Connell had, and
you try to catch him more.
You're not allowed to touch him while he's in mid-air. Had it, Corrie wrapped him up, and that's the reason for the penalty. O'Connell's feet must be on the ground before Martin Corrie can touch him. It's absolutely bucketing now. So difficult for the players to control and deliver on what they've worked so hard all week in training, all year in training, for many years in training, and then the conditions come along, they'll have prepared for it, but it makes it significantly harder. O'Gara, perfect so far. Looks good. It is good. 3 from 3. Ireland lead at Croke Park by 9 points to 3.
Well, that's a smashing kick from O'Gara in the circumstances and in the conditions, drawing it in slightly off the right-hand post. And as you say, 3 out of 3, very good return from Ronan, but more importantly, just stretching Ireland's lead, and on balance, they deserve that spread.
Johnny Wilkinson kicks downfield, straight downfield, and gives David Wallace plenty of time to consider his options. Wallace looking for the weakest point in that English defensive line, gets play up to the 22 stringer. O'Gara not standing that far back, and it gave the English defenders a chance to get to him, but again O'Gara delivered a decent clearance, taken quickly. Morgan again knocks it forward. It will be advantage to Ireland as the fullback went up to try and reclaim possession. There for Peter Stringer. O'Gara crossfield kick. Darcy out on this wing, and across comes Lucy to avert the danger for England. Good option from O'Gara.
Absolutely, very sharp, spotted Darcy, who was calling for it on the left touchline, and beautifully put into space and forcing Morgan, or Lucy actually, to put it into touch. Line out to Ireland.
Ireland shading it in the possession stakes and very much in the territory stakes. Most importantly, from their perspective, they're shading it on the scoreboard as well. 6-point game. And they get the scrum for going forward. And there's a control and a purpose about this. Yes, mistakes have been made, and that's always going to happen in a game of this intensity, but you'd be happy with the way they've approached this opening 27 minutes.
Absolutely. The only thing perhaps is that they need to be doing it maybe closer to the English line, you know, a bit more territory into the 22 on occasion. It demands that it be put in behind and try and chase the tackle and force England to put it out of play inside their 22 and then control the line out from there and have a right go. But yeah, they're controlling the line out now far. The second line out, I think, that went astray, but allowing for the conditions, a good return so far.
Meeting of the Munster Brains Trust in O'Connell, O'Callaghan and Hayes. And we'll resume with this scrum. Again, the crowd lift their voice. Statement of the audience, but the atmosphere is terrific. Peter Stringer with the feed. England try and get the shove on, but Ireland have controlled that one well, and the ball is presented well for Peter Stringer. O'Gara had to readjust. O'Driscoll finds Darcy, and there's a little bit of room in front of him. Gordon Darcy has a look up, didn't offload when maybe he could have. It's presented for Peter Stringer once more. Down the short side Ireland go. Wilkinson gets to his opposite number, O'Gara. Ball once more for Peter Stringer. Shane Horgan finds Best, whose opposite number. George Shooter makes the tackle. John Hayes in. Horgan, Leamy offered himself. Easterby into the England 22, terrific run. And again Easterby put to ground. Ireland almost there. Stringer can see it, they can dig it out. Offside, advantage to Ireland, and the referee blows his whistle. The crowd incensed. It was a deliberate foul. It may well result in a yellow card for England.
There's absolutely no question, Riley. He has to go straight to the bin. This thing of having to get a warning before you go to the bin, rubbish. He's got to go. Stopped a certain try. And Joel Jukes, well, he'll just confirm the decision.
England down to 14.
Danny Grucock, one of the wisely experienced players, British and Irish line. He knew exactly what he was doing, because that was a certain score you'd have thought. But great play from Ireland. Horgan offloading in the tackle, which is what England can't seem to do. And Easterby, well, he did very well, showed some great pace here. Hit twice, but they didn't hold on to him, so he was quite entitled to get up. Twice he got up, fed it inside, and I think it was Dempsey going for the line. But here, well, Grewcock knew exactly what he was doing, taking Stringer out of it, because England were on the back foot.
O'Driscoll, O'Gara and O'Connell had a word and decided they'd go for touch and try and go for the try. This may be a seminal moment in the game, definitely one in this first half. Referee just allowing a little bit of time as the water carriers come on and a couple of physios give the walking wounded a rub down. Just takes the pressure off, the intensity of the moment. On this side, the English fullback Ollie Morgan isn't fit to continue. He looks absolutely out of it, not at all sure he knows where he is, and into the game comes Matthew Tate to take his place. England are going to have to readjust their back line, more on that in a moment. First though, to Rory Best, and this Irish line out taken by Paul O'Connell. Ireland go to the maul. It's 5 metres away to the English line. Advantage being played to Ireland. Inches away now. Control required. Stringer has. He's going to try and go on his own. Offloaded. Still the opportunity is there. It must be. It has to be. It is. Dempsey has done it again against England.
What a try. What a smashing try. Ireland going for the corner, going for the reward off the line-out. They took the line-out possession. They drove hard at the heart of the English defence, and they didn't panic. That was the key. And when it came back, well, great flick here, and good hands. And Dempsey, well, he had the easiest run-in, really, but all the work done inside him. And when it wasn't done, Ireland didn't panic. Ball going to ground here. But what a flick there from Darcy. Good pass from O'Driscoll. And Ireland well on the scoreboard. They deserve the return because they've dominated the match really in the last 10 to 15 minutes. And O'Gara now the opportunity to tag on the conversion.
He scored a try in 2004 in Twickenham against England. It's his 57th cap at full-back and 72nd overall. And O'Gara has the opportunity to make it even better, and he has. And this first half is working out exactly the way Ireland would have hoped. They've done the basics right. It was engineered by the pack, and it was finished with ease in the end by that back line.
But absolutely, when they went for the line, they didn't panic. They didn't go to try and, you know, the extra yard when it wasn't on. They recycled possession, and when it came back, a fantastic flick from Gordon Darcy to create the space out wide. You'd have to say, right, there is a lot of space in that English defence. If Ireland can get quick ball off go forward ball from the pack first off, but let it go quickly, then there's acres of space in that English midfield.
Mistake comes though from the restart from Donegal O'Callaghan, who looked like he had it, but it was knocked forward. Important that Ireland concentrate, keep the levels of intensity going. England have got to find something special to break this Irish defence, which are coming straight through now. Referee, I think, has decided that advantage from that knock-on is over, and England are going to have to deal with Ireland there. In a microcosm is exactly what this first half has been about, particularly in the last 20 minutes. Corrie hit by 2 Irish defenders and sent back from where he came. Ellis, Wilkinson, who has such a role to play still in this game. Dempsey comes and calls, and he's in mid-air, and he's knocked on his back, and that has really angered the Irish players and the crowd here. He was in mid-air. You're not allowed to touch a man, and that is very, very dangerous, and you might be looking at another sin binning. England already down to 14, and Magnus Lund in a lot of trouble.
I draw my whistle immediately. Don't come here. Are you agree with that? Are you agree? Thank you very much. No more. Okay, fine.
I think the referee may have decided that with one player in the sin bin, he wasn't going to put a second now. It was millisecond stuff. Lund looked like he was committed. No doubt about the foul. The question was it intentional enough? Did it deserve a yellow card?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of Ellis and Lund, and he was committed, I think, to be fair. The referee did blow immediately.
Matthew Tate, the substitute for England, is the man who sends that ball down into the Irish half. O'Gara just dances around him as if he wasn't there, but the kick after the fancy footwork not up to the required standard, or the standard he set in this first half. It's out on the full. England will get the put into the line out back where O'Gara kicked the ball.
Well, he's slightly just overcooking it on that occasion, but his kicking has been faultless really so far in the match, both out of hand and with the dead ball. The Irish pack now starting to up it a gear, and Dennis Leamy really at his rampaging best this evening, and causing all sorts of problems for the English 8.
Ireland will be hoping to capitalise on the numerical advantage, which will continue for about another 6 minutes or so. England need to find something. Wilkinson is looking to give it. Tate offloads to Lucy. Tate's arrival in some way might improve England's ability to find a little bit of space. That's the Irish 22. That's Curry and Easterby and Leamy and Best do their best to hold him up, stop England from using possession and maybe get the turnover. Referee gives it to Ireland. Defensive work in this first half has been exemplary, hasn't it, Ralph?
Absolutely fantastic, and the back row in particular, and Leamy leading the charge, but Easterby and Wallace not far behind. And to be fair, the whole pack really, they're really, you know, they have their game face on and they're hitting everything that moves.
Leamy feeds Stringer, and O'Gara, who doubles back on himself, gets around Harry Ellis and goes downfield. Lucy's playing fullback now with Tate out on the wing. Strettle, of course, on the other. Leamy watched that all the way. He's a really good ball player, Dennis Leamy. Not just strength, he's got the speed and the skills as well. O'Gara, again, probing in behind the English back line. Tate goes back. Tyndall offers himself as an option. Tate takes the responsibility himself. And it's off the side of the boot. Touch judge watched that all the way. In fact, he's saying, I think, that it went in on the full. He's gone back inside the 22. Didn't look like it from this angle. Had he been outside the 22, then we would have come back for the kick. Referee saying, or the touch judge more likely saying that the ball, he brought it back in, I think. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, he's saying he carried it back in. That's the reason it was brought back to the 22.
Ireland's ball again. Lovely pass from Stringer to O'Gara and O'Driscoll and Horgan back in the line. Oh, terrific line, Shane Horgan. 5 metres short, Ireland. Ball required quickly. Stringer has it. Ireland can sense that miss might be an option again. And O'Connell knocks it on. The intensity of this tackle stopping the second row from getting there. But terrific play once more from this Rolls Royce of backline.
Brilliant stuff from the three quarters again, and you know, every time they're running at the English defence, it just opens up all over the place, and Horgan straight through the gap. Great tackle there from Matt Tate, you'd have to say, and recycled it when it came flicked back in to O'Connell, I think it was. Just couldn't control it, knocked it forward, and England escape again. But great play from the Irish three quarters again.
All the time, Ralph, looking for Ireland to be absolutely clinical. And if there has been a criticism in recent times, it's been when they've got themselves into this position, got themselves into a period of dominance. They haven't forced home the scores that they've needed to close games out.
Well, absolutely, and you know, if you're getting the line breaks, you'd like a higher ratio of conversions in terms of scores, and you know, Ireland might be a bit disappointed with that, but it's keep creating the line breaks, the scores will come.
Ellis with the feed, and Ireland's scrum is pushing England backwards, and Wallace continues to mount the pressure on England. Great tackle from Wallace to force England back, to turn the ball over, but the Irish scrum was superb there.
Well, it's a smashing effort, you'd have to say now, from the Irish pack. The front five laying the foundation, but the Irish back row just swarming all over everything England do.
Stringer down the short side. Shane Horgan is going to try and use his pace and power to get there. Held up just a couple of metres short. stringer for Wallace, one of the great ball carriers. He's there. He must be there. The referee's having a look, and if he goes to the television match official, which he has, that to me on first look was a try for Ireland.
Absolutely, on the first look it looked as if he got in. I think it was Wallace, the ball carrier. He has to go up. Here we see it. David Wallace drives low and hard, and there he gets the ball down.
All it has to do is touch that line, and you can see from the first replay that one no good, that he did just that. Now, we've seen some strange decisions from television match officials before, but surely the evidence is undeniable.
Absolutely no question, that's a score. O'Gara already getting ready to take the conversion.
Okay, try given. Doesn't matter whether it's given in French or in English. It's 5 points on the board for Ireland, and Croke Park is ecstatic.
And you'd have to say no more than Ireland deserve. In the last 15 minutes they've been all over England. They've been causing havoc in the three-quarter line. The pack are easing England up front, and as you say, at least they get to convert the scores now and put it on the board, because that's where it counts. O'Gara, another opportunity to tag on the 2 points, but great stuff from Ireland. And England, you have to say, very disappointing, Royal, against Scotland. You know, they flattered to deceive, really, maybe, and looked better than they were. Against Italy, well, they didn't really, you know, put Italy away to any great degree, and it's coming home to roost a bit now tonight in Croke Park against a much better Irish side.
O'Gara has been perfect so far. He continues to be perfection personified, and has been as good a 40 minutes from Ireland, saving possibly the first 5, as we've seen this year, and that includes some impressive displays in the Autumn Internationals.
Absolutely, and the thing is, Ryan, you know, Ireland are in a position and in a mood now this evening to really put England to the sword, and it'll be a measure of where this team wants to go if they keep going after the goal and try to get as many scores as possible, just like the Blacks would do if they were in this type of mood.
Yeah, the All Blacks are clinical when they have this sort of possession, this sort of intent. Ireland looking to reach those heights. Ball secured. O'Gara with the kick, and England longing, you would think, for a half-time whistle.
Absolutely, because you know they're looking at an Irish side who are absolutely in control, and you feel, right, they even have another gear if they need to go there, and that's what they've got to do, try and get to that gear before it's required on the scoreboard, and try and put the real pressure on England.
Grewcock is back for England. They're restored to 15. Fields of Athenry continues to ring around Croke Park. You just see in the body language, even in that shot there of Wallace and Easterby, there's an alertness and a desire and a composure, I suppose, more than anything else, that we didn't see against the French. Here's Wilkinson trying to do something about it from an English perspective. Farrell is used as the battering ram, taken into contact once more. Worsley tries to offload. Ireland again think they have a sniff of it, but England secure possession. Tyndall knows only one way. It's always been his way. Sets it up for England, who again have options left and right. Wilkinson goes the more open side. Defence from Ireland continue to make the tackles. Ellis's ball is picked up well by Corrie, who will go and go for England all day long. Totally committed. Grewcock runs into Best, who dumps him, and then Ireland come pouring through. Darcy lines up Lucy. Best again there to make the tackle. Terrific commitment from the Ulster hooker. Back England go inside their own 10-metre line. Eventually Farrell just kicks it almost aimlessly away. Shane Horgan finds Gervin Dempsey, and that kick, if it finds touch, will bring to an end a first half of Irish dominance. The referee has a little look at his touch judges. That's enough. The crowd rise to their feet to applaud Ireland. With a spring in their steps, they go to the changing room. They're in control. They lead it by 23 points to 3. There's another 40 minutes to come in analysis after this commercial break.
Welcome back. We had Fields of Athenry, 30 seconds to go, and watching the body language of Conor O'Shea of England walking off this pitch. They're looking at a huge hiding here unless they do something.
Yeah, and you don't see where it's going to come from. I think for people who are sitting at home, the start of that match, the singing of the anthems, the atmosphere out there was something I have never experienced. It was hairs on the back of your neck, and the Irish team have played exactly like the anthem was sung. It was amazing.
They're doing everything right. The packer in charge, the backs, wonderful skill.
They're magnificent, as we're saying. And what about the autumn series? But this is a magnificent performance. Okay, you know, England have planted the seed based on this first half, but Ireland just haven't let them get any foothold into the game at all. And you know, geez, on this sort of form, you know, they go to the World Cup.
I mean, it's 23-3, George. I know it's only half time. The record defeat of England is 22-0 way back in '47. We're now going to be like the Old Blacks and put more and more tries on them, give them a good solid beating.
Are you dismissing a prospect of a 23-all?
Well, you were the man talking about a draw.
All right, okay. Look, to win this match, England had to get more than parity at the scrum and the line out. They had to kick better than Ireland, and they had dominated scrum half. On no of those 4 counts have they achieved parity, let alone do better. So therefore they can't win the match unless they change, and the difficulties for them to change, given the way the Irish pack is playing. And once again, not because he scored a try, David Wallace has been an outstanding part of that.
No, they've nothing to offer in a sense. I mean, you're right, David Wallace is mopping up.
Well, they're not even kicking well. Their kicking game has not been good. It's been straight down the middle, easy to return.
Well, the first try had to come. I mean, because England went down to 14 men, and really Ireland had been bursting at the line for the last 5 minutes, and they opted to take the line out, obviously, from the penalty. The ball went out. A lovely flick on here from Gordon Darcy. Look at that, out of the back, and that creates the space outside. Gervin Dempsey will never score an easier or more important try in his career. That was fantastic. But just look at Darcy here, out the back door, and brilliant. Luckily, the bounce goes right for him, but I say that's a fantastic try. Just what Ireland deserved, really.
Now, George, moving to the Wallace try, which is coming up, and there he goes in again.
Yeah,
wonderful
look at
skills.
that.
Those are wonderful
skills.
skills.
And it's just having confidence in your men outside as well. He knew the other players and Green were out there, and he
maybe
tried.
check and Knox, take a little bow there, but moving to the Wallace try. It's a long time since we've seen a forward 8 of Ireland so dominant, and the Wallace try came directly from it.
But you see, Ireland can play Wallace, who isn't a natural 7, because O'Driscoll and Darcy do that job. Here, really, look at the low body angle when he goes in. Had he gone in high, I think they would have stopped him. But he goes in very low.
Another thing, George, he's so explosive, isn't he, and through the thighs and that. You know, that's why he makes a good number 8 off the back of the scrum. Gets over the game line.
But the interesting thing from you talking body language, well, if you're tight to your line, normally the defensive line just comes straight off it, and they didn't. They hung back, and David Wallace right leg strength.
Connor, there could have been another 2 tries on the board. Here's a Horgan break he nearly got away with.
Well, we saw Easterby's break, which set up the first try, and then you have Shane Horgan's great back play, and there's invention, there's a lot of threat straight through the middle. It ends up just being a really good tackle by Matthew Tate to stop them. But you talk about being able to maybe pull away and score a few more points. Well, when you can make those sort of breaks, and you can make the sort of gaps that they're doing, there's a lot of tries to be scored if you keep the tempo going.
Okay, all right. We have to take a break. We're coming up now before we go for the break. 23 points to 3 here at Lansdowne Road, and you can't take that smile off your face. Well, these lucky people, all 84,000 of them, have seen an absolutely extraordinary display of rugby today. I think for years to come they'll remember that 40 minutes at least. Conor O'Shea, any way back for England?
I don't think so. I think George summed it up. You know, the line-out's in trouble, even before Danny Grewcock went off. The scrum's in trouble, and they can't afford to chase a game. Because if they try and chase a game, they'll actually be on the end of a hiding. They have to eke their way back into the game. I don't think they can.
Earlier today you were saying, and you thought, this is the inevitable result of the state of the Premiership in England and the game they're playing.
I'll tell you why, because I mean most of the positions held down, the key position in the English game, as Conor will tell you, are by foreigners. So I mean, how do they develop players, creative players, which we've seen a lack of creativity from the English midfield, with the fact that most teams have foreign players in there. So I presume the coaches or one of the clubs don't really care that much about the English game. They care about winning their own club competition.
It's the big debate. But I think today is that you focus on what Ireland have done brilliantly.
And whether Johnny Wilkinson, is he here at all?
Yeah, but I mean, like, Outhouse don't win matches when they don't have the ball going forward. What England have to do now, Conor, I think, got his finger on it. If England try and expand, they're going to lose by large numbers. What they're going to have to do is keep the score down, hope that a metronomic Wilkinson gets a couple of kicks, 9 points, suddenly they're back in charge.
And the way that Ireland will play it in sections now, I think they'll say, look, take 10 minutes at a time, keep them scoreless. But quite right. After a while, England will have to panic because that's the only way to get back into it.
I mean, what is Eddie O'Sullivan saying now?
He's saying, look,
how do you close this game out?
He's saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And
continue to play.
But we've accused Ireland in the past of not being deadly, like the All
Blacks.
Blacks.
They'll play, as I said, I think they'll play in sections now. That you could see just before half-time, interesting enough, Brian O'Driscoll and Paul O'Connell called all the players in. Brian O'Driscoll was doing this, let's just calm it down, fellas, go back second half, put another 10 minutes, try to score and just keep blocking off periods of the game.
I think build up to this game, they're not going to let the intensity go in this game at all.
And there's an important point we must make, because if we're going to win this, presumably, we may be vying with France for a championship on 4-1 and the number of points scored, the number of tries scored. So it's important to get as many points here as possible today,
with Scotland literally to come, you could say that, but I mean, I don't think they'll be thinking that way at the moment. They'll just be looking to see if they can continue playing the way they're playing.
Exactly, they want to do the All Black thing. Look, you know, your foot is 3/4 of the way down, let's hammer it right down completely.
George?
Yeah, I like you could say a lot of things over and over again here. Point is, England are in trouble. They don't have the firepower. All they can do is keep the score down. And they can't do anything.
A touch of the Thomond Park's going on. Ireland held inside the dressing room door, waiting for the
started before the match
as the crowd come out.
There's nothing even to come off the English
before the match was very interesting. We were here and we didn't
3
know.
minutes, I think.
Ireland went in later from their warm-up. They went in at 5:20. They planned the whole way.
Listen to it. Let's hear it now. You'll hear it. There they come, all ready for the second half. Back to you, Ryle.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's kind of pinch yourself territory, isn't it? Almost couldn't hear you handing back to us. The noise level was so great there as Ireland made their way back out to Croke Park. England have made a change. Tom Rees is in. Rees to win his third cap, the Wasps player, and it looks like it's Magnus Lund who's gone. Just waiting for confirmation of that. Can't see Lund anywhere. And Ireland start with a 20-point lead.
Well, I don't think it's anything more than they deserve based on the first half's performance. Second half, they'll want to just keep doing the same, build on that performance, and try and tag on 1 or 2 more scores and then go for the juggler. But very professional job done in at least for half an hour in the first half.
And they'll want to continue as O'Gara gets us underway. Early action for Rees, who should have claimed it, let it go, and Ellis gets eaten alive by 3 Irish players who come powering through. And Wilkinson is forced into playing scrum half for England, and Tyndall tallies on it, and Ireland get a hand to it, and England look shocked and stunned. I think it was O'Connell. Wallace and Easterby there as companions. But he took forever, went through the textbook kick rather than just get it out of there, and he nearly paid dearly. But England have the line out. Curry is the man to claim the ball, and if ever a former captain and a stalwart of a team was needed, the 52 times cap Martin Curry is one. Here's Harry Ellis, who ducks under a couple of Irish tacklers. Marcus Horan tries to put him to ground, and Ireland have come away with it as Horan managed to rip the ball. Wallace offload. Leamy couldn't control it, knocked it forward, but again Ireland coming out with a statement of intent to continue the ferocity of defence. A little bit of afters over on this side. Curry and Horan involved along with others. There they are. But England really do look rattled.
Absolutely, and you know what Ireland have done is they've come out and they've kept the tempo up and the pace, and on that occasion just spilling it forward, Leamy in the contact. But very good play from Marcus Horan, a good break from Harry Ellis out of defence, but Horan, you know, wrapped him and ripped the possession and drove forward and got the turnover, and you know, the Irish back row to the fore already in the second half.
Okay, we got somebody. Stay here. This is enough.
Martin Curry's well-scarred face receiving another dab from the physio. They'll want to sort this scrum out, England. It's been under pressure for, what, 25 minutes or so. They started well, but Ireland have taken absolute control of that particular area.
Well, there would have been a view, Royal, that Julian White should have been picked, particularly in the English press, to try and attack the Irish scrum, because Vickery wouldn't be rated as the better scrummager of the two.
And there is the result of that Irish pressure in the scrum. They get the penalty. And Shane Horgan over to give Marcus Horan and those tap on the head. Well done is the message, and O'Gara, not surprisingly, points to the post.
Well, good play again from the Irish pack, and they're really making life difficult now for the English, and Vickery on that occasion. Well, Joel Jute says he brought it down. We'll take his word for it and run O'Gara. Well, you'd expect him to slot this with his eyes closed.
First on the board in the second half. 3 more points to add to the total. It's Ireland 26, England 3. Vickery on this side. And as you watch that replay, is the one penalised. Wilkinson. Well, George said it, he can't play if he doesn't have the ball, and his pack have been taking a pacing. It's meant that Wilkinson has received the ball on the back foot, and he's had very little influence on this game, and Darcy finds a gap. Wilkinson gets to make the tackle, but only after Darcy found great room. Communication not good there from Ireland, and was it Marcus Horan who decided, let's get this out of here, and brings play up to the 10-metre line. It'll be an English put into the line out.
Yeah, and he kind of hung his head in, you know, giving out to himself there, not getting an extra bit of distance for a prop. Not a bad kick, you'd have to say.
Julian White is on. Many will say he should have been there from the off. White in, Freshwater gone. There's Perry Freshwater, 7th cap today, plays his club rugby in Perpignan in France. White in to win his 42nd cap, the 33-year-old from Leicester. Played Super 12 rugby, one of the very few in these islands to do that. Here's Drewcock, who was sin-binned in the first half. England will want to restore a little bit of pride about what they've come here to do, as Ellis digs it out for Tyndall. Farrell used as a battering ram again. It's quicker possession from England. Tyndall called about the offload, but he just doesn't have it in his makeup to do that, and took the ball into contact, as does the new man, Julian White. Ellis, Lucy in to try and use his undoubted attacking ability to find a way through, and Farrell probed in behind the Irish backline, and that was better from England.
Well, look, they've got a few phases of play together, putting it in behind the Irish. The Irish defence very good, the line is there, and the space was in behind, and that's where Farrell chose to put it. But England now have to try and put pressure on the Irish line out to get possession back.
White, please, white.
Paul O'Connell, top of the charts in terms of line-out claims thus far. Best finds O'Connell again. England in to disrupt. Ireland looked to sort it out, but it seemed a bit messy, and that's good work from the English pack. They get the put into the scrum. Game going through something of a lull by comparison to the frantic efforts of the last 25 minutes of that first half. England, though, in good position to try and launch something from here. Should be comfortable ball for them. And if that's the better scrum, Ellis peels away. Wallace watched him. Bad pass from Ellis. No one wants to claim it. Lucy has it now and gets away from one tackler, and then a second, and continues on his way. O'Driscoll trying to rip the ball away. England through Tom Rees, about 5 metres short of the Irish line. Maybe an opportunity now to bash their way down that short side. Dennis Hickey monitoring on that far side. Wilkinson. Ball goes to ground. Ireland set their defence again. Ellis has a look both sides. He's going to go down the short side. Ball goes right back to Worsley, and he's hit behind the gain line. No penetration in that particular movement. Ellis sort of shovels it on to Andy Farrell, and now England go wide. They have numbers if they can release. Lucy to the new man, Strettle. There may well have been a foot in touch. The television match official will be the one who will decide it. If he did get there, it was Jason Robinson type work that will have done it. But there is a question over his foot being in touch.
He did look to get the ball down.
Can we have that replay from the Farrell pass, please?
So here it is. That looks good to me. On first viewing, that looks like an English try.
Good try. He managed to get the ball down. His feet don't touch the line or go into touch. It is a good try.
It is a good try. A try on the debut of David Strettle. And he did very well.
You know, and all that came from a needless turnover, really, Royal, in an Irish line-out, taken well by Paul O'Connell, and just got messy. England turned it over, and from that turnover, well, Strettle gets the reward. Did very well to get the ball down just before being bundled into touch.
Managed crucially to keep his feet up as well, so they wouldn't touch that line. Try given. The English support thrilled. Sigh of relief almost from their travelling support. They finally made a breakthrough. They finally got a try, and it's their first score since Johnny Wilkinson's opening effort after, what, 2 minutes or so? Wilkinson's conversion attempt on its way. It's a majestic kick, terrific kick from Wilkinson, and England are up to 10. It's Ireland's 26, England 10. It's a long, long way back for England, but they have something to build on.
Absolutely, what a smashing kick from Wilkinson. It never wavered. Middle of the sticks from the wrong side for the left-legged kicker. What a great try here from Strettle, who was just been dragged into touch but managed to get the touchdown first.
Ronan O'Gara, while you were watching that, tried a little cheeky restart that didn't quite come off, but worth the effort nonetheless. England managed to jump on the ball just as Ireland were getting there, and they've secured possession. Ellis with a kick over the top. It's going to fall between Horgan and Dempsey, but England's charge or chase of that kick was pretty poor, and it gave Dempsey plenty of time to gather, and Ireland have the ball. O'Gara is going to probe in behind that English back line once more. Lucy's going across. He's going to have to deal with it. Tight angle, and it's off the side of the boot, but not a bad kick nonetheless. Ireland will have to put into the line out. 10-metre line and 22 English territory. Crowds realise that Ireland have options from here.
White, please, white. No. Who is it? Stop, please. Stop, please. The receiver. Thank you very much. Stay 15. Stay 15.
Best and Ireland have. O'Gara for Darcy, who tries to go back inside. Almost got away, but not quite. But O'Connell comes at pace to take the ball and set it up once more. O'Connell again, getting through the workload, as we know he can, quiet by his own high standards in recent times. But this a big game from the Munster second row. O'Gara, crossfield kick, Hickey out there, palms it back, ball just in touch. And England will get the foot into the line out inside their own 22. Ireland no doubt will compete. Option from O'Gara?
Well, it was a good option. Hickey again calling it wide. The line was very much up in the middle from England. Their defensive line was well set. But everything about Ireland, you know, there's a sharpness about them. When they're taking ball into contact from ruck, they're doing it at pace. England, by contrast, are a bit more pedestrian, and you know, you just feel if England want to really have a go at winning this match, they've got to bring in some backs, and Tate on the wing is anonymous really out there. He should be in the centre, give some creativity to their three-quarter line.
That's the right call by the referee. Simon Easterby coming in from the side on that ball. Thought he might have blindsided the referee, but it was called on this side by the touch judge, Christophe Verdus, and England get the penalty, and Wilkinson will relieve the pressure if he finds touch, which he doesn't. And Ireland have through Gervin Dempsey. What can they do from here? Shane Horgan has men outside him. Farrell and Tyndall combine to make the tackle, but Horgan still gets yard. O'Gara, Hickey in midfield. Lovely little offload, but they were crossing in the midfield. England couldn't make the tackles, Ireland obstructing, and the referee awards the penalty to England on the halfway line.
Again, a needless turnover, and Johnny Wilkinson certainly will, you would imagine, attempt to tag on 3 points and just claw back on the scoreboard. But, Josh Lucy is showing a lot more since he went into the full-back position, Royal, and you know, he's a good, strong runner, possesses a tread when he's in possession. But just keep harping on it, their midfield really are poor and don't seem to be able to release them. And Johnny Wilkinson, well, it's a long distance out, but you'd imagine the great man will slot this even from the halfway line straight in front of the post.
Amazing how the game has developed, that you can look at this kick for Wilkinson and you'd probably give him a 70% chance, if not more, of landing it from here. Hush descends around Croke Park. Has he got it? Might run out of legs. It does. Drops underneath the crossbar. It was right on the limit of his ability and didn't quite seem to make the connection as cleanly as he would like. And O'Gara will restart for Ireland with a 22 dropout, and again the crowd try to lift this Irish 15. Restart from O'Gara, a little bit too far in terms of his players being able to compete for it, but O'Connell makes the tackle on Corrie. England have possession just inside their own half. Farrell, Tyndall, Lucy, back inside. The pass was there for Tate to take, but with the gap at his mercy, he got a bit of stage fright and knocked it on, and Dempsey fights for every yard. Ireland have advantage for that knock on. The referee continues to play it as Stringer finds Ronan O'Gara, and advantage over, says the referee. In some ways Ireland might well have been better just knocking it on there and taking the penalty, which would have given them the put into the line out. O'Gara's kick means that England have the put into the line out, and Brian Ashton looks on, hand to face. He can't have expected this. England making another change into the game. Comes the number 18, Tom Palmer. And who is it that's making way? Is it Grewcock? It is. Grewcock gone, Palmer in. Palmer winning his 6th cap. Down for Ellis. Wilkinson. Wilkinson on the loop. Better from the English back line. Tyndall straightens, but Ireland just fan across, watch their men and make their tackles. Tyndall spins it. It's Palmer who takes on the responsibility of bashing into the Irish defence once more, and the penalty comes. Ireland not rolling away, and England just beginning to, as Conor suggested, they had to eke their way into this game.
Absolutely, and Johnny Wilkinson will attempt to take the 3 points on offer here, and you know, they're trying to move the ball across the back line, but you could almost excuse them for the knock-ons and running laterally, because they really haven't come out and done that all match, and it's very difficult to turn it on when you most need it. But at least it's giving them a small bit of momentum from England's point of view and putting the Irish defence under some pressure. And Johnny Wilkinson, well, again, you'd expect him to get this.
That's what faces Johnny Wilkinson. England desperately need this. Normal service resumed for England. Wilkinson finds his way. Ireland lead it by 26 points to 13. Eddie O'Sullivan looks on. George Hook has something to say to us in studio.
Well, against his better options, really, injuries forced Ashton to make the crucial change by bringing Tate on and moving Lucy to full back. He's got a better attacking option. And most importantly, Horgan's defence is being exposed on the wing. The fat lady isn't singing just yet.
Agreed. Penalty Ireland. Little bit of afters. Julian White is being spoken to.
On the ball. Away, please.
Something happening off the ball on that far side.
Okay for me. Don't use illegal feet, okay?
Illegal use of the feet against Julian White. And he may well be a huge improvement to an English scrum, but giving away the opportunity for O'Gara to slot 3 points.
Well, it's ridiculous, really. You know, your out half just get you 3 points back on the scoreboard, and he comes in then with the stamp. And, you know, if Joel Jute sees that, it's surely a yellow card.
I was just going to say that. I mean, how do you warn somebody if you do that again, you're going to get a yellow card? It was clear in his mind. That's why he awarded the penalty, and surely White should have gone to the sin bin. O'Gara will look to punish England in another way with these 3 points on offer. Flash bulbs pop around Croke Park. The crowd will tell you it's good before the touch judges do. Ireland get back the 3 they just gave away. They now lead us by 29 points to 13.
Well, a magnificent display of place kicking from both out halves, you'd have to say. O'Gara just getting the margin back to where it was, cancelling Johnny Wilkinson's earlier penalty, but super kicking from both number 10s.
Along with Carter, the New Zealand out half, the top 3 probably in World Rugby at the moment. John Hayes on the opportunity to secure possession for Ireland. Stringer feeds O'Gara. Now Darcy in midfield. Pass. It's just a little pop one back inside. Marcus Horan, I think it was, on his shoulder. O'Gara has now, again, just pops it over the back. Not the direction or the pace he would have quite have wanted on that kick, and it gives Lucy plenty of time to pick and go. But he's met by O'Driscoll and Stringer and numerous others in green shirts, and they turn the ball over, and Stringer finds Shane Horgan. Horgan has to go back inside, but the pass was forward, and I think it was the right call from the referee. We're just offline with it, but from where we were sitting, it was marginal, and the touch judge on this side said forward pass. Stringer, Horgan, I think it was. Terrific chasing, though, again, of what was probably one of O'Gara's least impressive kicks. And Ireland there in numbers to strip the ball back. Scrum pops up front rows. Ireland leading the turnovers 1. 6-4. And it's what they've done with those turnovers that has been one of the differences between the sides.
Not too early, not together, not too early. Okay? Touch.
Feed from Harry Ellis directly to his second rows, offers Ireland a free kick, which Stringer takes to Dennis Leaney, who you will see grow and grow into this game as it goes on. One of the fittest players in international rugby. O'Gara sets up in midfield. Stringer has options left and right. They go left. O'Driscoll, little kick through was watched. Marcus Horan, quickest to react, and Easterby, who's got through an amount of work, finds some more yards for Ireland. Darcy standing as first receiver. Dennis Hickey offers an positive option. Leaney feigns to pass to Wallace. England get across to make the tackles. Hickey sees a gap in front of him. Dennis Hickey, was he foot tripped? Referee says continue. Here's O'Gara. Horgan, England standing up in defence, cutting off the option of the passes out wide. Stringer once more. O'Gara. Ireland better now than they've been in this second half in terms of ball retention and an attempt to penetrate the English line. Stringer's little kick over the top, wrong option. It was watched. And after all that good work, Matthew Tate claimed it easily. And instead of kicking, decides to take possession on himself. runs over Peter Stringer, and Harry Ellis almost makes the breakaway. O'Connell competes with Corrie. Referee says that's fine. Scraps for every ball, for every inch. Shooter plays scrum half. Farrell. England have numbers out here. If Wilkinson chooses to use them, which he has, maybe the opportunity now. Tackle from Wallace. Forced the knock on. And Wallace receives congratulations from his teammates. Terrific tackle. Referee says advantage accruing. Ireland can play on. Hickey was the quickest to react. Needs support. It's there from Darcy. Ball almost into the English 22. O'Callaghan with Best at his shoulder. Ireland comes storming back at England. O'Gara, cut out pass, and it's intercepted by Farrell from one end to another. It's energy sapping stuff for both sets of players. Vickery sets it up. It's a knock-on from White, and after all that will end with a scrum to Ireland just outside the English 22, straight in front of the post, and there are tired bodies all over Croke Park.
Well, England are all over the place, but what a passage of play there. Injury there too. Is it Gordon Darcy clutching his hamstring?
You'd hope not.
But a magnificent bit of play here. Harry Ellis started it all off. Stringer just about got him, and it looks like whether it's his hamstring or his groin problem that he had a couple of weeks ago, but he's definitely in trouble.
Dennis Hickey the one to capitalise on that knock-on after David Wallace had come across and made a superb and try-saving tackle. Here it was. Lucy looked like he was away, but Wallace's tackle stopped the ball from going into the hands of the try-scorer Strettle, and Ireland turned defence into attack. Is that a little wry smile from Brian O'Driscoll as he hears the fields of Athenry go around Croke Park? Both Ireland centres receiving attention. Both seem fit enough to continue for the moment at least. Clock restarted in the corner. It stops, of course, in Six Nations games when the referee decides to allow the physios on. He stops the clock when it reaches 80. It'll be game over. Scrum controlled by Ireland. Here's Horgan. Wilkinson defence being tested. Horgan sets it up. Stringer has for O'Gara. Ball didn't go to hand. It was a risky pass from the Irish out half as Best was covered well by English defenders. The ball's turned over and the referee says there's a knock-on from an English player, so Ireland are going to get a chance again, but maybe just forcing a little bit on that occasion.
Yeah, and a bit fortunate there perhaps because we had turned it over and England then knocked on at this point, and it was Martin Corrie knocked it on, giving Ireland the put in at the scrum again. But Ireland, you know, they're maintaining the pressure, they're staying, holding the territory on England, and England under desperate pressure trying to get out.
Jerry Flannery into the game for Ireland at hooker to win his 12th cap, taking over from Rory Best, who performed very well.
Absolutely, but what an impact player to come into your side. I mean, he's going to add energy and dynamism to his around the field effort, but a great display from Rory Best at line out time as well, and around the field worked his socks off.
He's a scary prospect, Jerry Flannery. Andrew Trimble is warming up as well. You think he may come on for one of the centres if Eddie O'Sullivan is worried about the future, and a week or a fortnight's time, I should say, against Scotland. But we continue. Ireland inside the English 22. Flannery gets his hands on the ball, and it's set up for Peter Stringer once more. Here's Ronan O'Gara. Decided there was a little gap there, which was closed firmly by Farrell and Corrie, but Ireland still crucially have possession. Here's Gervin Dempsey. Ball transferred to Hickey, back inside to Horgan. Managed somehow to hold on to possession. Ireland almost there. They are there. Have they grounded the ball? Referee says held up. He's not even going to go to the television match official, and he's going to go and award a scrum to Ireland. But again, terrific hands, and you cannot underestimate just how difficult that is to do at that tempo. but Ireland almost creating another try-scoring opportunity.
Absolutely, and great pace here from Dennis Hickey, but he kept it alive inside to Horgan, who was there in support. But good defence from England, and I think it was Johnny Wilkinson you might have seen at the end of that maul and making the tackle. Couldn't ground the ball, but great pressure from Ireland.
It was Brian O'Driscoll who took the ball. Now it's Leaney off the back of the Irish scrum. 3 metres short, presented for Stringer. O'Gara, crossfield kick. Shane Horgan's in position. Oh yes! What a try! Executed magnificently. That is as good a try as you will see all year. Control from the scrum, pinpoint accuracy from O'Gara, magnificent fielding from Horgan, and that should really wrap this one up as a contest.
Absolutely, and England absolutely rattled, but what a score, and really nothing more than they deserved. A beautiful ball, and appropriate that the score might come from a field like that in the place we are, Croke Park. Fantastic.
Delivery from O'Gara was spectacular as the fielding of Shane Horgan, who scores his 19th try. Don't think any of them expected this.
And what an atmosphere around this fantastic stadium. The place erupting.
O'Gara's record has been spectacular and continues to be. Wonderful to watch. Nothing that Lucy could do, or Strettle. They just looked on, almost in admiration of a perfectly executed try. The restart is claimed by England. And here is Brian O'Driscoll, who intercepts, and he's away. He's going to get caught, so he needs support. Centre partner Gordon Darcy is there. O'Driscoll is taking a bang, and he's limping quite heavily away from that particular contact. Ireland will continue without him. Shane Horgan, line taken by Paul O'Connell, sets Ireland up again. Here's O'Gara, back from one side to the other. Easterby, Wallace is going to have to come back infield and look for support, running out of room for Ireland on that side. Maul goes to ground, possession should be there for Ireland, but England are competing. Stringer not able to secure it, and England look to have the ball. O'Driscoll still limping, but back involved in the action, is on the edge of that particular ruck. There he is. Tyndall for Lucy, who took a long time to get the kick out of the way. And again, Ireland full on. O'Driscoll looks like he's okay. Again, he pulled up quite quickly. I'm not sure exactly where the injury came from. We'll see it here. Harry Ellis in to make the tackle. Time off. It's the left ankle. And it looked unbelievably painful. You could see it buckle under the pressure, and I'm not quite sure if he's playing on adrenaline now, and they'll need to check that out, because O'Driscoll, well, it's an understatement to say how key he is to his Irish team.
Well, he seems to be indicating to the bench there that he feels he's okay, but you know, you would have thought at 36-13, 67 minutes on the clock, that you'd take your captain ashore really and make sure he gets proper medical treatment, because you know, you go over an ankle like that, it's easy to run through it when the blood is still pumping around the ankle, and it's afterwards that the real damage will be done.
Dennis Leamy also one who's feeling the knocks out there. England make a change. Sean Perry in at scrum half for Harry Ellis. Perry in to win his 5th cap, the Bristol scrum half. Ireland claim the line out. O'Gara for O'Driscoll, who's moving freely again. Oh, it's a wonderful pass, inviting Gervin Dempsey to run onto it. Dempsey has been in sparkling form today. O'Gara Leamy continues to run at full tilt, the engine in perfect working order. Ireland offload again. Darcy doesn't go to hands, but ball not knocked on, and Hickey can go to ground and set it up for Ireland once more. O'Gara, ball just finds his way to him every time. Crossfield kick again, Strettle underneath it. Horgan challenges, this could go anywhere. Wallace attempts to get to it, and somehow an English hand, an Andy Farrell hand, knocks it into touch. Interesting to see if Horgan hit his man before the ball arrived there. O'Gara's crossfield kick.
Well, Joel Jute is giving a knock-on here against England. Strettle in the attempt to take it. It goes forward off him. Perhaps Shane Horgan did nudge him in the contact, but Ireland getting away with that. But England really are there for the taking now, and Ireland carving them apart nearly at will. And Wallace, well, he just couldn't hold on to it there, but it's good attacking position here again, with Neil Best coming on for Easterby, who had a smashing game and a smashing Irish back row performance.
You want an impact substitute, here's one. Neil Best, ferocious in the tackle. Easterby should be proud of his day's work. Ireland have the scrum. Leamy for Wallace again. Wallace somehow always manages to find a gap and wish to get through. Is the ball there for Ireland? It is, with Stringer, who goes down the short side, finds Flannery. Hayes on his shoulder. John Hayes, about 2 meters short for Ireland. They need to control once more, be patient, and find their moment to strike. Wallace held up and isolated. Ireland need to get there if Wallace is to be penalised, which he was.
On the feet, please, on the feet.
England get that penalty.
10 meters, 10.
The cohesion just getting away from Ireland on that particular occasion.
10 meters, 10. No.
England will be glad of the opportunity to clear their lines.
Absolutely, and Wallace there, well, he's been all over the place for the match, but particularly in the last 10 minutes or so. On that occasion, just getting slightly isolated, a bit too far away from his support, and conceded the penalty for holding on, but England really look out on their feet.
Time off, number 3, green, substitution.
Won't be a surprise now to see Eddie O'Sullivan just play down the clock in some ways and disrupt the game by replacing players, and out comes John Hayes. What a man.
Well, you know, Royal, this performance had to be built on a platform, and there's been no better platform this evening than from the two props, tight head John Hayes and Marcus Horn, who came in for a lot of unfair criticism over the last couple of weeks, and they really delivered today.
Simon Best is the man who's replaced him. Best winning his 14th cap, 29 years of age, older brother of hooker Rory, who's already made way for Jerry Flannery. Neil Best, by the way, not a relation of the other two Ulstermen. The feed to the scrum by Sean Perry. Stringer trying to disrupt, but Perry gets the pass away to Wilkinson and Farrell in midfield, and they're running a little bit laterally, and the passes are better now from England, much more like it. They find the gap, it's quickly recycled, but then the knock-on comes, and it's those sort of things that are happening to England now as they try to force it a little bit, and it's that makes you feel and makes you know really that it isn't going to be their day.
Time off, substitution. Number 2, White.
2 Whites called ashore. That's George Shooter, who will be replaced by Lee Mears. Mears comes in to win his 14th cap, the Bath man.
Time on. Crouch, touch, pose.
Into the final minutes.
Okay.
Final 8.5 minutes at Croke Park.
Scram, please, scram. Come the scram. Stay here. Crouch, touch, pose, engage. Okay, fine. Stay here. Stay here.
Ball there for Ireland, but the referee again is going to reset the scrum.
Okay. Come here, please.
They will take immense positive credit out of this pack to go on to Scotland and Italy and then onwards to the World Cup. They needed this. It's there for Stringer. O'Gara Kick bounces up, nasty one for Lucy to deal with, and he's flapped at it a little, but secured possession. O'Driscoll and Darcy up in his face to try and make the tackle. Darcy puts him to ground, but Lucy, after a nervous moment, did well. Perry for Wilkinson. And touch, and Andrew Trimble is readying himself. Tracksuit off, and who's going to be brought in?
The captain. Captain.
It's the captain. He doesn't know it yet. O'Driscoll trotting back towards his line.
Time off. Time off.
O'Driscoll's number is shown. He doesn't seem at all keen to come off, but I think the coach has said time for him to come ashore and listen to the reception for Ireland's captain as Trimble comes on.
And he's had a smashing game too. You know, he's been out injured for a couple of weeks. Came back today to lead the side out against England. And what must have been a fantastic occasion for him as captain. And he's justifiably getting the applause from the crowd.
And for those in the seats, they stood to applaud Ireland's captain. This is Best, Neil Best, who claims of the line out for Ireland. Flannery. Penalty to Ireland. Hands on the deck from England and not rolling away. 2 infringements, just the 1 penalty, which Ronan O'Gara, will he go at goal or will he go down the line?
Down the line, absolutely. Down to the corner and go for the line out again. And there's a look of weariness about the English pack now, except he didn't execute it properly.
O'Gara trying to get every inch, and he's kicked it out. And O'Sullivan nods the head. Niall O'Donovan on his left as you look at. And we'll go back. A rare mistake from O'Gara today, and England afforded the opportunity of a scrum just inside their own half.
Closer, closer. Crutch. Touch. Pose. Engage.
Again, Ireland's scrum is solid, and Perry's caught looking for the ball when it had already come out. Stringer, ever alert, makes the tackle. England, though, have held on. Crowd creating a Croke Park wave as Farrell kicks. Shane Horgan, as he's done so often today, feels Tyndall on the wrong side, gets out of the way. Ball there for Ireland. O'Gara, the service from Stringer has been absolutely magnificent. Most of the kicking from O'Gara has been that good, and it's pinned England back 8 or 9 metres away from their own line. Crowd booing. They think that Tate touched it as he attempted to catch it. Touch judges awarded the put into the line out to England.
Feet away, Green. Don't play Green. Don't play Green. No fight.
England continue to bash away at the fringes. It's what they've done all day, and there has not been a plan B of any consequence. Wilkinson kicks cross field. Trimble, the new man underneath it. Just about enough for Ireland. Darcy wins the breaking ball. The pass floated back inside to Shane Horgan. Advantage being played to England for what was a forward pass. They're outside their 22. Referee says advantage over. Farrell to Captain Vickery in midfield. England are going to have to rebuild for their next match, which is against France at home in a fortnight's time. What this will have done to their confidence on the back of 2 victories to date, well, we won't know, but you can't say that this is an English side in any sort of shape to defend their World Cup.
No, they're certainly in the team-building process, but really they've got to get their selection right in the 3 quarters. Andy Farrell in the middle of the field has been absolutely woeful, and you know, the Irish defence can drift off him all day because he has no pace, and you have the likes of Tate consigned to the wing when he should be in midfield and at least trying to build something for the future outside Johnny Wilkinson.
Changes are plenty now for Ireland. Stringer has made way for Isaac Boss. Mick O'Driscoll is in, and Dennis Leamy, still full of energy, runs to the touchline. Ronan O'Gara is gone as well, and in his place comes Paddy Wallace. They'll see out the final 3.5 minutes of this game.
Both sides, both sides. Up. Come in here, come in here. Let's go, Puma. Tu regardes les deux. Scratch, touch, pause, engage. Use it. No.
Referee again wants the scrum reset. In some ways, this has been so comprehensive that there's almost a sense of anticlimax about this victory.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ireland really have put England to the sword, bar the first maybe 10 or 12, 15 minutes. But apart from that, England just haven't been in the match.
Wilkinson tries to launch an attack from inside the English 22. Lucy, Tyndall, and now Strettle, who'll look back at his first cap in Croke Park with a certain amount of personal pride, but disappointing from his team's perspective. Paddy Wallace, I think, is the man caught on the wrong side, getting a bit of a shoeing, but it was his effort that helped Ireland to turn the ball over. They'll get the put into the scrum. Paul O'Connell restored to the place we've seen him so often, the RBS man of the match. Do you agree with that selection?
Well, you know, there's been so many candidates tonight, you know, from the Irish side. There's massive performances from the pack as a whole, and Paul O'Connell, no less than anybody else, led that with a heart and a half, and you couldn't disagree with their choice.
There was a knock on there as Paddy Wallace attempted to cut back inside.
Okay.
English scrum almost on the halfway line.
What you want? White ball.
Smiles aplenty on the Irish bench. O'Gara and O'Driscoll, no doubt proud of what they've achieved today. Wilkinson continues to try and marshal his troops, but it's been a lost cause for most of this game. Here's England again, giving it away, and this is the icing on the cake. Isaac Boss under the post. A perfect day for Irish rugby is rounded off with another try.
Well, shambolic from England, but a magnificent end to a fantastic Irish performance, and the crowd erupt, and what a way to finish. It was always the big match in Croke Park. This one, of the two, this was the one, and to come out with such a comprehensive victory. Okay, fortuitous with the intercept at the end, but a thrilling finish really to a fantastic Irish display, and almost a birthday present for you, Ryle.
Thank you, Ralph. Isaac Boss, 7th cap today, first try. Paddy Wallace adds the extra point. Have we got a couple of seconds left? Referee is strutting towards the halfway line as if to say, we're going to play on. England want the final whistle. Ireland could probably play for another 40 minutes happily. $43 points to 13 as Mick O'Driscoll claims the restart for Ireland. Boss in to do the out half duties. Wallace, they're going to spin it, you think, and look to create something just one more time. This is the last possession of the game. If they kick it away now, it's over. It's a penalty to Ireland. O'Driscoll on his feet. It's finished, says the referee. Wallace will take that. Ireland's moment. Ireland's day. Croke Park on their feet to salute the heroes in green. It was a day for an outpouring of emotion. It was a day to deliver, and Ireland and Eddie O'Sullivan can be well pleased with what they've achieved. Onwards to Edinburgh and another tilt at the Triple Crown they go. They won this and they won it in style. Final score of Croke Park, Ireland 43, England 13. Happy days, Tom.
Thank you indeed, Ralph and Ryle. What does the old song say? We may have had great men, but we never have better, George. Is that a finer performance you've ever seen from an Ireland team, 15 men in green jerseys?
Well, it would certainly be up there, except we have to factor in the opposition. Ireland have done extraordinarily well against better teams, but it's up there, and it makes all the more tragic the loss.
But the opposition are the world champions, George.
Where
are the world champions?
Well, they were. I mean, there's no comparison between this side and the world champions of a few years ago. There's no Martin Johnson, there's no key playmakers anymore. I mean, George is right, but I'd have to say the first half from Ireland was magnificent. It's right up there with the performance against Australia. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best performance I have seen since I've been here, certainly.
I mean, we came along thinking that we'd see something that witnessed a special occasion in Irish sport, and we have witnessed a special occasion in Irish sport, and even Shane Horgan playing a bit of Gaelic football on the pitch and scoring with the high field. I mean, it was an incredible performance. I mean, still think the first half against Australia was something, but this as an occasion and a performance.
Yeah, because it's Australia, probably.
Well, behind us breaking out a sort of triumphant chorus of the fields of Athenry as England go to the dressing room. But it's a magnificent day, George. All that stuff about the national anthem, wonderful good manners, well behaved, Rhonda being sung magnificently, a comprehensive Irish victory. I mean, it's a wonderful day, isn't it?
Or why do we ever doubt this country, this people, this sport? Why do we ever doubt that they wouldn't understand the emotion, the history, the importance of the day? It is those of us in the media, really, who have to ask ourselves, why do we ever doubt the good sense of the Irish people of all the sports? And today was the justification and a reiteration of what rugby means in this divided Ireland. And I, for one, am delighted to be part of it.
And of course, a wonderful day for Croke Park, too, as we see it in long shot, Brent. And in a curious way, you think back to that moment against France, which may well have cost a Grand Slam when you think about it.
It's a heartbreaker, but I mean, having said that, I mean, you can't go back and you can't retract back. And Eddie O'Sullivan, after that game, had to pick the Irish chins off the floor, get them back in. They've responded with a magnificent win that'll send shudders around the rugby world. There'll be people in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa watching us. This is a team that's here to stay. It's a team that could have won a Grand Slam had it been for 30 seconds, but don't take anything
now,
away from
importantly, of course, France have got to play Wales tonight, but in the important matter of points scored, we're only 2 points behind France at the moment.
I don't think that makes any difference to it. I think the statement that the Irish team have made tonight has been immense in terms of looking forward for the rest of the year. But I haven't experienced an atmosphere quite like this since, to be honest, since 1995 in South Africa, which was a special rugby occasion. This is absolutely out of this world. I don't think point difference make a difference, sadly.
This is absolutely extraordinary. There's the Irish manager, Eddie O'Sullivan, out there with the Irish team. I mean, they haven't so far won anything apart from a magnificent match, but you get the sense, George, that rugby has become hugely and immensely popular in this country now. It's the heartbeat of the race at the moment.
Well, you see, I mean, everybody likes winners. So you have to take it in that context at a time when other sports can. And the difference for rugby compared to amazing games like hurling and football is the fact that it brings an international dimension to it. And but there's an interesting thing about man of the match. My man of the match would actually be three men: Dr. Conor McCarthy, Dr. Gary O'Driscoll and Dr. Liam Hennessy, two of the medical doctors, because Eddie said at the beginning, this is a 5-match tournament over 7 weeks, fitness will be the crucial thing, and they have delivered a fit team for Eddie in the third match. And by and large, I have to think they're going to win the next 2 matches.
I mean, that try Horgan scored, I mean, Jim Glennon can take a bow because he took him out of a Gaelic football field in Meath. And that was his final high catch, Conor.
Well, Pete was right to see a score like that.
Well, when you start
worthy of Mick O'Connell.
Yeah, well, when they started playing Gaelic football, but it was the accuracy of the attack. I mean, there was nothing that the English defence could have done. That it was just an absolutely outstanding and brilliantly executed.
Well, pinpoint kick.
And an incredible bit of skill.
All right. It's not our fault, dear viewers, if we are delirious here. Huge win for Ireland. We're going to take a break. We're going to analyse. And then, of course, we've got another match coming to you later on. Don't worry, we have our sleeping bags here in Paris as France take on Wales.
difference. That may be typical of the deciding where the championship is going. There was a time when it was evenly handed out. The two teams had to bring on their points, but it was actually now awarded on points. Now let's go back, Conor. You thought there was no way England had got into the match, but given their drew for the first 15 minutes, they raised their game and they came back and got a shot.
They raised their game, and as you had said, a guy who can come away and knock you, and he's done, with a lot of credit, was Dave Scotland. He worked hard, first half, and he finished this drive absolutely outstanding.
And it wasn't first half where he played terribly well, didn't he? Well, he had full forward on about 3 different occasions. There is a classic example of where he does it. If you Horgan is the full 15 metre inside, look, and then what he does is he goes down for the intercept, and Scotty really has a run in, and he should have scored. But it depends what you want the wings to do. Whether you want the wings to take last man, or whether you want the wings come in through. In that case, he shouldn't have done. That was the only time the Irish line was attacking the whole. It wasn't here. Well, I talked before, and we keep talking again, and we'll talk about it again and again. It could have been the own creativity that was introduced was through the young blood. Messi Tate, who had been dropped controversy a few years ago, came in and bought something straight out straight played well. They just drifted on the ball a little bit, held the defender and threw it every try. Totally different. You're very close to this, Conor. I mean, you work for RFU and different, and you watch a lot of Premiership matches. I mean, it's just a much lower standard. It's a 10-man game.
I think over the last, it's one of the huge issues that's going on at the moment is the club culture, club country battle, and the blocking of players coming through, and then no doubt that the structure of the game here suits the international game, suits the provincial game. So it's a much stronger game than there is in England at the moment, unequivocally.
This match will use night time, undoubtedly, the club versus country debate. I don't know whether you saw that, but half of that being played last weekend when the entire Irish squad had a speed up watching. That's a huge thing.
I have to say, to me, yes, you're right, but to me, today, not about what are the years of the Premiership. What is brilliant about the Irish performance. That is.
Oh no, but still, you've got to look at it. Well, we know that. We know they were brilliant, but you've still got to look at where English rugby is going. Looking at the whole scope of the game. I mean, they keep plugging up positions, key positions with guys in the 30s. Factoring Italy has just destroyed Scotland. Ireland has just destroyed England. I mean, what a change in world rugby. Well, you can't say Scotland. We thought that was always going to be the case. Scotland were beaten by 44 points by South Africa 57 years ago. Once it went professional, well, Ireland prospered. Scotland went the other way. Well, for somebody who loves the other football, he's got to show this thing Horgan fight. Well, he's done this before. Of course, he's done this before. He's done it for Leinster, and he's done it for Ireland a couple of times. And they're 6 foot. But you are a guy 6'4" and a physical guy like this, but it's O'Gara's pride, because the kick is, they signalled it. O'Gara sees Horgan waiting slyly out on the wings, but the kick is perfect. And when you've got 2 or 3 inches over the winger, he's on the ground. Of course, Horgan can go in the ear. The other player has to stay stationary, and okay, so Guerrero tipped it was a brilliant. But look at this, the kick is perfect. Remember, Horgan can go in the ear, as he does here. Unfortunately, English defender has to stay on the ground really.
He is attacking that ball from the outside in. Yeah. He's coming in the line. It's a beautiful angle to attack the ball on, rather than coming front.
It's very hard when you've got to stay down, because the English guy goes in the ear as well, and goes over top and it's gone. So, but a brilliant, above his hands, which can really do it. We've seen a lot of the Irish players do it. One Nick O'Connell will be implied as George, the boss player for them. The boss player. Okay. The thing about the boss player was that at this point in the were beaten team. It happens so often again, so one team is beaten and box takes their chance. And England gave it away. But I mean, they gave it away in circumstances that, unlike Scotland, for instance, earlier on today, he gave tries like this away when it was a real contest. I disagree absolutely totally with Conor on that, because Conor says they want to focus on this wonderful Irish victory, and then just rollicking because they talk about the country that are going to draw. So reason. Possibly, technically, happening wrong. But the big boss score, on this particular occasion, I'm absolutely right. But when the reason Ireland played so well today was because
they avoid that the top country is absolutely. Quiet. Eddie O'Sullivan. Eddie O'Sullivan is about to get Who's the first?
Thank you very much, Tom. Eddie, you must be an extremely proud man at this moment in time. It was a magnificent display of rugby.
I'm very, very happy, obviously, and there's no other way of putting it. I think over the 80 minutes we probably controlled the game for 70, 75 minutes. And very, very happy that we both came out in difficult conditions, played very well up front and gave the back for the space. And I think, we made mistakes up there as everybody did in those conditions, but overall it was a very, very solid performance.
The defence was absolutely superb.
Yeah, we worked very hard on that during the week. We knew England would stretch us wide, and we got caught once in the second half, and we paid a price as we knew we would. But other than that, I think we're very comfortable all around, and I have to say, like, after the first 15 minutes we started boxing between the two teams, we got into it then, and from there on we were pretty much in control.
And were you surprised at the result?
Well, you're always surprised when you win by that many points in a Six Nations game.